How's everybody doing tonight? I very rarely go late live stream. I just decided to do it today. So hope everybody's doing well. Let me check myself on my phone. Everybody doing okay? How you doing, Miss Nash? Shout out to Peter M for the $5 super chat. I appreciate that. I need to highlight it, but I don't think I hooked up my restream. You tipped me so early. I appreciate it, Peter M. I appreciate it. Let's see. Let me look at that real quick. There I am. So, yeah, I'm live. I'm still struggle streaming. Everybody doing okay tonight? We're going to jump straight into it because I am tired. Once again, you know how we do it. If you have any cybersecurity questions or questions in general, just throw them in the chat. Once again, shout out to Peter from Super Chatting. Snuggles up late at night. Well, I don't know where she's at. It's 10 o'clock here in the Midwest. So Snuggles is here. So shout out to Snuggle. She in the house. Glad I'm not dropping the link. Snuggles dropped the link. Snuggles be cracking me up. Shout out to Snuggles. But I will drop the link in a little bit. Snuggles is funny. Got a little vodka in that. I guess I shouldn't say that on the live, but relaxing a little bit. So, once again, if you got any cybersecurity questions, just throw them in the box, and we're about to start in a hot second. Thanks, Sheed, for joining. So, I guess what prompted this live stream is I was on before the Billions channel, and it was me. Before the Billions, Gabe A. Actually, there's a ton of people on there. Gabe A, Destination Dad, Max the Million. What's the other young guy's name is? He's always there. But what prompted this live stream was I should have cut that particular part out of B2B's channel. Hey, Kayla, glad you could make it. It was I graduated in 1990 in computer science, and I was the only one, only one black person. B2B. Now, Gabe A graduated in 2014, and he was the only one. Which really shocked me is for the Billions is in Atlanta doing data scientist. He said he was the only one. I think he went to Georgia. I want to say Georgia Tech, I think. Georgia something in B2B. But with that being the Mecca, I thought he was going to say he graduated with 20 people or so, right? He was the only one. Then Max the Million just graduated in 2021. My son's older than Max Million. He said he was the only one, right? So this article came up. Even as colleges pledge to improve the share of engineering math graduates who are black has declined. So we're going the wrong way. So the question is, why are we going the wrong way? Anybody in the chat want to put some in there to why are we going the wrong way? So you had 6 people up, and I think everybody said they graduated in their class, the only one, right? So it's 2021. Max the Millions, a young bright guy. I should have summoned him for him to come on my channel. I'm sure he would have, but he was the only one, so I was kind of perplexed. So that kind of, I guess, kind of shook me up because I'm thinking, are we progressing? Are we outliers? Right? We are going to talk about too. College is not the only way, right? We're talking about college versus certificates, right? Those are 2 different ways to get in IT. IT is not the end all be all, right, for all jobs, right? But we're talking about getting people into technology, getting the technology back. Shout out to Black Heights. Shout out to Textual Chatter. Shout out to Kev Tech IT, Tech G. There's so many great people in this space that are doing that, though. Right. So it seems like once again, we're going the wrong way. So I was going to touch on this item. There you go with the fake out. Facts. We know snuggles aren't coming up, and I'll drop the link in the middle. So should we be perplexed that college are in decline, or is that a shout out to Savage Scientist? Yeah, before the billions, dropped the link. So our live stream, like I said, his live stream actually had me thinking and made me do this live stream. I very rarely come on at night. Shout out to Savage Scientist, another great programmer. Savage Scientist, how many black people graduated with you? B2B said he had one. I think he said it one. I had none. Gabe had none. Maximilian was the only one. So I'm trying to figure out, are we going backwards, right? Are we, from a college perspective, not going to college, and is that going backward? Once again, we know there's many ways to get in IT. We always talk about certs, boot camps. But for me, and we talked about that, college still has a place for scholars, right? I like to see scholars, be coming into this space, right? We know there's people gonna come with certs. We know there's gatekeepers, but there should be scholars at least in the talented 10th, right? We talking about W.E.B. Du Bois, right? The talented 10th. Oh, I'm with you. I didn't walk across the stage. Back then, Savage Scientist, I was skinny and can run, so I got a little track scholarship. And when I was younger, they used to get bigger Pell Grants. But how many black people graduated with you? Not walk across the stage because you taking classes. How many black people were in class with you? Foundational Black Americans born in the United States. How many you have in there, Savage Scientist? I remember Nesby in the previous chemical engineering undergraduate. Cool. Shout out to Nesby. I think Gabe A was part of Nesby too. The IT major, but I kept flunking my class. Once I like to get a master's degree in comp sci. That's cool. IT ain't easy. Shout out, because my undergraduate is, let me state my credentials. My undergraduate is in computer science. My master's is an MBA. But shout out to Citizen Lou. Now, he definitely was one of the boot camp guys, but shout out to Citizen Lou. He said he's going to go back and get his bachelor's degree. But once again, I was the only black guy, I think, in person. Gabe Bay said he was the only black guy. B2B's in Atlanta. He said he was the only black guy. I'm like, dude, you're the black medical, man. I thought y'all be graduating 30 deep, with the data scientists. So are we going backwards, right? Like I said, once again, shout out to Search. We're going to get people in there, but there's a place for college for scholars. So are we just missing out on that? We're not grinding to become scholars? Oh, Black Engineers Shop. Yeah, you're right. It is Black Engineer. So I guess that's the thing. I'm going to read this article. So I'm behind in this stream. You're good. They had about 9% on average in computer science courses. Where are you from? Because this article I said, it used to be, they said it's down to like 4%. And one article I got up here, it got 1%. Well, let me retract that. Yeah, computer science. So all the ones I see, I was at Mississippi State. Yeah, that's a black college. So their 9% is low, man. We should have about 20, right? So I'm gonna chip in on this article, like I said, and I'll drop the link. So that I guess that's kind of what spurred me on. Like I said, between B2B and Maximilian, man, that just kind of hurt my soul. And I'm like, we're going backwards, especially with B2B. Max just graduated in 2021. I'm like, you graduated with just you? He goes, yeah. I'm like, dude, it was just me in 1990. So we're not progressing, I guess, in comp sci. And we all know technology is the future, right? And a lot of guys with computer science degrees, especially if you get to the master's and PhD level, those guys start. Google was a PhD project, right? Where they were talking about backlinks, right? Linux, Lawrence Torvald, I think, was a PhD project, right? So when you become a scholar, right, things come out of that, right? So that's kind of what made me kind of bring that up a little bit. I want to BLS has some stats. The ones I saw were 1%. I have some up here. Which ones? This SIPA, computer science, they had black people at 1%, right? Those aren't the official BLS stats, but the ones from this computer science, I guess, group, theirs were white 66%, Asians 25, Hispanics and Latino was 5%, unknown was 1.8, black or African American was 1.0, and the only ones underneath of us, shout out to the Indians and the Alaskan natives, right? So those are the stats I looked up real quick in it. So, oh yeah, to get facts. The higher you get, the lower numbers you get. Savage scientists, correct. So, um, let's see what my man said. Yeah, and Google had to pay Stanford for early research. Yeah, but two is Stanford and those schools is they have an incubator now, Citizen Loop. And when you start a company, they'll fund you because they know if that company blows up, you're gonna come back and give to the university, right? So they Stanford, Harvard, they have incubators, so they expect you to go. They got venture capitals, angel investors are set up for you, Citizen Loop. So they expect you to do that, right? And they have investors lined up for you because they know, their students going to drop out and start companies. They're not going to even graduate. Now, those two guys graduated, but we know Zuck didn't graduate. Mark Zuckerberg. I'm calling Zuck like we type. Zuck. Zuck didn't graduate. So they can't, but he gives billions of dollars to those universities, right? Those endowments be huge. Make it worse. Most HBCU computer science, so why they're not getting high? So that is true. But see, the HBCUs, we look back, they should be like them, incubators, funding stuff, so they can get people to have jobs and start companies, right? So they can get on the forefront. So I think we HBCUs should be doing that too. Yep, yeah. So they got you in the. They got, I guess, sucks my homie. So yeah, Assistant Lou. So their college is set up for you to get your advanced degree. They're going way beyond bachelors and PhD. Then we're gonna fund your company. So if you got a super unique idea on a PhD, you don't need to go anywhere. We got the funnel right here for you. Because all those guys that made money in Stanford, Harvard, they want something to invest in, so they got the pipeline already set up. I know there was probably from Stanford University who came pro. Oh, facts. I know that too. Come on, Savage. You're supposed to keep that a secret, man. I know a guy with a PhD I thought couldn't program out a paper bag, Savage. We ain't talking about this on this stream, but that is facts, though. That is facts, man. Where my angels, facts. So no, that's facts because this one dude, he was a PhD. He made his stuff too complicated. And I'm like, dude, we about to run 1 billion rows. They're never gonna go through this brittle thing you designed, right? So that's another stream side. Now I'm just joking, but no, that's an excellent point. But when you have those credentials, even though you're not good, those guys be directors. They just be ordering people around, man. They be keeping tracks of budgets. The guy was a supervisor, but none of his code worked, but they put him over the team. I think he had a hookup at DOD when I was there, though. All right, so, but once again, we gotta bring. We 14% of the population. We can't be 1% of the com sci and the tech, right? That's mostly just computer science, right? So that's a super specific technology, but we got to be bigger than 1%. Like I said when I was on B2B, shout out Tim. Everybody go join everybody. Go join Savage. Go join Citizen Lou. Join everybody if you're not in there. So everybody go support everybody. So, but I guess between the billions and Max the Million, they both under. I think they both under 26. We still getting 1 and 1, right? Yeah, but is that the wrong cultural thing, Savage Scientists? I agree with you, but I think we on a wrong cultural thing. So I think you're correct. It's not cool. It's not swag. It's not. But the problem is when those guys get in their 30 and they're the 8%. Shout out to KS. They're the 8% high value men, right? Then they want you to come back to community and help. Then they want you to have a programming boot camp yourself, right? Then they want you to, but then the community doesn't support those guys, right? Programming, right? Cool, right? Facts. So the question is, how do we make it cool? Because when you talk about the tech, there's billions of dollars of that, man. When we start rolling out with the private jets, do we get cooler? When you get that Zuck money and Sergey Brin money and Elon Musk money, PayPal, that whole PayPal mafia. I need to do a video of those. They're nine deep. They all might not be billionaires, but they all knocking on the door. I think Citizens Lou is agreeing with Savage Scientist. I played sport, but my dad was a mathematician, so I ran a computer all the time. That's super rare, man. Right? You definitely an outlier, Citizen Lou. You're a dad that was a mathematician. That's definitely an outlier. Shout out to the other guy that was on the panel yesterday that made me just think about that. But facts, right, Chris? Shout out. And Gay Bay was on that chat yesterday, and he actually chimed in. So I graduated by myself. I think Gay Bay said it was him or somebody else. Gay Bay's in electrical engineering. B2B once again said he was by himself. Then Maximilian just graduated last year. He was by himself. So our computer science, are we outliers? Are black dudes with a computer science degree, are we just outliers? We 3 standard deviations away from the mean. I'm showing out a little bit with my mathematical skills. Shout out to me, right? We 3 deviations away from the right. So are we just outliers now? We just don't expect black people, especially black men, to have comp sci degrees. Electrical engineering. Facts. Shout out to Gay Bay, right? I work with a ton of electrical engineering side. That's what I tell him. I'm like, dude, electrical engineer. And Gabe dabbled in nuclear for a minute. That's got to be harder than computer science, right? Or shout out to Citizen Lou. You talking about actuaries? I worked in insurance for a long time. Actuaries, man, you got to take them. What is it? 6 tests. That stuff is astronomically hard, man. So so facts, man. Savage. That's Savage. DJ Guy was a software. For real? Was he? He kind of looked like a software engineer. DJ Vlad. I told her that, Gabe. I think Gabe was in Nesby. Oh, sure. So salute. So yeah, so Snug was in the house. I had no life in school, bro. Yeah, but all that paid off in the end, though, right, Gabe? Right. So I had a little life in college, but is that why we outliers? I guess. So somebody's talking about so I'm gonna read this article a little bit. So I guess that's my question while y'all in the chat is that just so outliers what was the hardest course? Okay, shout out to Kayla. The math is the biggest deterrent. I like the idea of math, but it's a struggle, right? And I think that's something we can bring to YouTube, Kayla. I guess we can start really doing math videos and just start talking about, standard deviation again, polynomials again. Dust off the old calculus book and just start, I guess, doing videos on that again, right? It could be a super niche, right? Because right, because if you really any on the comp sci or EEs in school, you need that math, right? So shout out to Gabe. He was talking about going to math tutors when he's younger. Calculus wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. Your dad's a math teacher, Citizen Lou. You can't say that, man. Come on, Citizen. You got to put a little respect on the math. Algorithm is the hardest course. They knew most people would fail that the highest grade. Yeah, facts too. And we all know that there's weed out classes in college, and that's definitely one of the weed out. I'm with Citizen Use. Calculus 2 was wearing me out, man. The Chinese guy, oh, facts. I forgot about that. You're right. Maybe we should just go set up a academy while we create it, man. Now, that is true. That's one shout out to Gabe. I never did physics. That's one thing I was a little like, I don't know if I can have physics 2, electromagnetism, power system analyst 2 was the most difficult. For me, Calc 2 was the most difficult. And we did a similar programming class back then. You were actually talking about the register on the chip, trying to program that was getting me. I still have my Region 6 jacket. Okay. Yeah, baby. Damn, facts on that, facts. So I'm just going to touch on this article, and I'm going to slide through it real quick. Even as colleges pledge to improve, shares of engineering and math graduates who are Black decline, right? So that's what we're talking about. We're going in reverse, which is not cool, right? Which I was perplexed about. Physics was difficult for me too. That's true. But a lot of times too is, as I got a little older, I got help. But when I first got in the program, I felt like I didn't have any support. I felt like people didn't work with me because I went to a PWI. So it was just me out there by myself. The hardest course for me was theories of comp. Oh, I love data structures. Oh my God, I love data structures. I eat that up for lunch. That's what's up. Region 4 is so much a region for me. That's cool. I never even thought. I heard of that. I just never even thought about joining National Engineering. Hello to the host and follow. What's up? She thought my thunder. Shout out to her. If you need some French, go check her out on her class. Her book reading and meditation is high standard, one of a kind. So shout out to her. And she's actually in Canada. She be walking in the snow. Professor's Black Ops too old for that. He could have a heart attack, but shout out to her. Cogli used to be fun to me because I stayed on YouTube. Yeah, YouTube is a hidden gem, but you got to remember in 1987, B2B, YouTube didn't exist. That's when I was in school. Yeah, we programmed my facts on that assembly, man. That's some different type of programming, man. So as we're gonna read this. As a junior studying bioengineering, Amanda Kamara was a fixture on the dean's list at Maryland. Kamara was Black, and she felt as many of her white peers dismissed her as less capable. When we're working on group projects, they would say things like, "You could do the typing," as opposed to let her get in the nitty gritty of how to build this robot. She said, "Sometimes it feels like I have to prove myself all over again." Now that's fact. Sometimes when you in that corporate world and you be feeling alone and you got to get it, man. You got to make sure they put some respect on your name, though. But shout out to that. But like I said, I work with a lot of cool people, so I'm old. I don't have that problem anymore, right? Too old. If you're too old, I must be Andrew. Thanks for the shout out. Shout out there. Once again, shout out to my man Peter and Investor for that Cash App kicking me off right. So I appreciate that. Let's see. See, I'm buffering a little bit. Hopefully, it's not too much buffering down there. I saw myself buffering a little bit. Before the billions, how are you doing? Everybody just speaking. Put some respect on it. Listen, facts. Let's put some respect on it. Let's see. Female tutors who were cute, same as me. That was a good incentive to join. Facts. But I need you to stay focused before the billions. I need you to stay focused. Yeah. Okay. Once again, the semester she changed. She was in robotics. She was in technology, but the class pushed her to switch it to psychology. What's up, NC worker? So once again, are we going in the wrong direction? Or are we letting society, university, and the culture keep us away from IT? Right? Because once again, I was the only one. Gabe was the only one. B2B was the only one. Max the Million graduated in 2021. We were the only guys graduating in our technology class that were Black, right? Once again, we showed the stats here before we keep reading this. Black people at the bottom of 1%. The only one less than us is the Indians and the Alaskan Eskimos, right? So, have to change that. Khan Academy was going for my grad level stats. Yeah, Khan Academy is hidden. Facts. Come up. Oh, shout out to the French. I need to really do that, but I think it's too late for me to get my French on. I'm sure she'll say she thought my thunder tell me it's not too late. It's too late, right? So when she changed her major to psychology, experience like this are why advocates are raising alarms that the portion of college graduates in degrees, science, math, and engineering who are Black is falling, even as demand for those workers fields grow as double the rate of the occupation. This is a worrying trend for professions in which Black people are already underrepresented. Months after University and Scientific Association pledged to address it in a response, the increased focus of systematic racism following George Floyd, COVID 19, and the COVID 19 pandemic seems to be making Black enrollment in STEM super less, 1% at best, right? So it's weird because shout out to Black Heights. He's always talking about the bag, getting the money. Shout out to my favorite couple in his house. Blind guy, his wife in their life. I appreciate that. Subscribe, hit the cash, right? Hit the little chat. I appreciate that. But so yeah, so the question is, I'm gonna drop the link while I'm talking. So if y'all want to come up, we can read together. So let me drop it in there. So yeah, so I guess the question is, and there's, I mean, 5 guys that do software engineering STEM at a high level, right? So why is that? One of the girls I study working, one of the girls I study with works at NASA now. Now that's cool. Oh, she's throwing out on that. She's throwing my thunder. I appreciate the super chat, Gabe. Shout out to you. I'm coming up. Cool. I dropped the link. But like I said, being on B2B between him and Max DeBillion, they had me in my feelings yesterday because I'm like, why are we the only one? Shout out to Gabe. I mean, I think he's got me thinking a little different because I was a supervisor years ago and it just didn't go well, right? Some other issues. So I actually been shying away from leadership, but Gabe's been talking very intentional about leadership. So I'm thinking about maybe going somewhere and being the director. I've been having a few offers to maybe go somewhere and be a director. So Gabe got me thinking about it. Shout out to B2B. He walking with the young headsets on. What's up, man?
Hey, how you doing?
You got me in my feelings from yesterday, man. You and Max. I'm like, how the hell we 1-1 in 2022? I had to go live and talk about it a little bit, man. I had to give you credit though, because that was that little snippet I talked about you on LinkedIn. But go ahead and chime in on that. Go ahead and chime in on. How the hell you
Yeah,
and Black
man.
Mecca graduating with one person? Go ahead, man.
No, I mean, obviously it wasn't, just me, the only,
Right,
Black person to graduate.
right.
But I was telling a story like when you were talking
You're a
about a
little
Black
choppy.
man.
Yeah, you breaking
Can you
up a
hear
little
me?
bit, a little choppy, a little choppy. Now go ahead, just a little.
If it's choppy, I can switch my other headphones.
Switch to other headphones. You sitting by a fan, man.
Or you know
No,
what?
no.
How about this? Let me jump from my computer. I think that'll be better.
Yeah, that's cool. Do that. Do that. Do that.
Yeah, let me drop down from here and then come back up.
Yeah, come back up. Come back up. You good. You good. Shout out. Yeah, Otto, yeah, that's what I was saying. I didn't look like he talking to a fan. But once again, STEM, science, technology is among the issues that are urgently in demand, said the Cato Laurencin, CEO of Connecticut Institute of Clinical and Translational Science. We need to move back to talking to Blacks in STEM and systematic racism. I thought that was strong with the systematic racism, but there's definitely people dropping off. Go ahead, B2B.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay, you good. You good. B2B got the professional setup. I'm still over here struggle streaming. He got multiple cameras and multiple headsets, man. I'm still struggle streaming over here, man.
Yeah, man, I got these are my headphones for like video editing and stuff, and when I'm working at the gym.
No, in
But
fact,
these
shout out to
these
Gabe
right
A.
here.
Gabe A's edits looking nice. Go check out Struggle Security. Check out Gabe
Oh
A.
yeah,
His edits be sweet on his videos. I need to upgrade my game. Go ahead, B2B. Go ahead.
his videos are nice. I mean, like really great production value, music, and everything.
Okay. Yeah, I was joking when he said he'd been on everybody else's channel for 6 years on YouTube, so he might as well start his own.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, like when I was talking about being the only uh being the only person, only black man. Oh, there's only like one other guy who I like genuinely know graduated with computer science degree, and I actually worked with him when I went to my internship, and we both are
Yeah, let me
the only
interrupt
black
you.
interns. Good.
Yeah, that's my thing is that was me in 1990. When did you graduate?
2018.
Come on, man. 2018, and you the only one in comp sci. That can't be, man. That's
Now,
that's 20
a
years
lot of people,
difference.
a lot of people switched to CIS, so that was more
Facts.
business related. And
Facts.
there was a lot more people who graduated from CIS. But for my specific, and I'm sure, of course, there might be more, right?
Mhm.
That they did graduate during that time, um, who were black. But then I only know of probably, well, I could be exaggerating. It could be more than that I actually know. But most of them were either Middle Eastern, they were white, or
Oh,
they were or Indian, right? So either
facts.
they're Asian or white. That's really it.
Facts. Facts.
And yeah, that's really it. And oh, I actually know a girl. She actually got like she had like a 4.0 and all this. She did extremely well in all her classes. We used to study all the time, and she isn't even working in the industry. She
What
just
she
she running her own business, selling like fragrances and stuff. So I was
that's a
like,
little
man, but yeah, but she was more on the scholarly side, like kind of extremely smart, extremely intelligent, but then didn't actually go into working into that computer.
no true, but like I said, as another too is we talked about that too, is degrees are not the end all be all. There's a lot of ways to get in this industry, but I want to put a little respect on comp sci electrical engineering because Sergey Brin and those guys, their PhD papers became billion-dollar businesses. So we need a few talented temps sticking their toe into that. So we can't be the only one if that's gonna happen, right? So that's kind of what made me lead to that, especially when Max the Million said that. I was really perplexed, right? So, like you said, there's a lot of technology, right? But when you go to engineering, comp sci, mechanical engineering, right, and you go to those masters and PhD level, that's how you start a business that can employ 10,000, 20,000 people. And it seems like there's no black people in that certain area for that, right? We were talking about bachelors, right? We really weren't really talking like masters and doctorates, right? Yet for that. So that's kind of what made me do my stream. You got any plans to do a masters before the billion? Getting that PhD? I'm putting pressure on you, man. Putting pressure on you.
I honestly, I was like, man, what's the need, But also, you said that if your company pays for it, why not? And
Facts.
that makes more sense to me. I'm like, if I get uh full time and they say, okay, you know what, we can pay for your schooling. It makes sense. Take a few night classes, like how you said. But right now, I'm not in that situation. So what's the need? Why go into a whole bunch of debt? I'm already um, paying off my small amount of student loans. I'm like,
Right.
because I only got like less than 4,000, so it's not really like it hurt me too bad.
Right.
But
But like we talked about, I mean, me
yeah,
Gabe touched on that is when you get into management and the pyramid starts getting tighter, those a lot of times are the tiebreaker, right? When you're trying to be vice president, COO, CISO, right? Chief Information Security Officer, right? So when you get to those jobs, those are where those advanced degrees I think really shine because you're in competition with a ton of people, right? A lot of times that's the tiebreaker, right?
yeah. And then I got to learn how to play golf.
I'm Chunky Woods. My golf game is sweet, man. I be killing them at the after work golf outing.
Yeah, Professor
Real,
Blackhouse, we're gonna have to golf one of these days.
I'm coming down to Atlanta. I'm coming down to see you and me. You and TLA gonna go golfing, man. We're gonna pick up everybody on the way. I'm gonna take y'all to the private golf club. And we're gonna go to the private place, man. So we're gonna have a
All right,
dinner
man.
on me and go golfing on me, man. As soon as it get warm, I'm coming that way. I gotta lose a little weight though. My back hurting, man. I pandemic, I ain't do nothing but eat. I guess I got to work on my golf game a little bit. So. Shout out to Adrian. She's in a pick her up on the way. Oftentimes we don't have economic social support system as a foundation for strong academic achievement. That's true, and I think that's one thing that I think YouTube, Facebook kind of brings in. And shout out to what y'all don't do, and y'all do a lot of it. Black Tech Twitter, man, they be giving a lot of love and a lot of hate on Black Tech Twitter. So, I mean, I think that's where you can get that support and get those groups together to kind of back each other up and help each other. What's your thoughts on that, B2B?
Yeah, we all need to sit together, and we need to stay away from a lot of the drama that may come on, like that Black Twitter and stuff like that.
Facts. That's one reason I ain't joined, man. So shout out to Tam telling me to stop eating steak in the chat. Shout out to Tam, always giving her a shout out. She got me thinking different. I thought I was doing something till she brought up accreditation money. I was like, oh, Professor Black Ops gonna have to raise his game a little bit. He thought he was doing okay in Indiana, but I need to think a little further out. So Tam's got me thinking out that. Shout out to Tam for the tip. I guess if I'm kind of so, but yeah, so everybody definitely go check her channel out, man. Women in Linux be putting down super games, super everything, man. Discord, they got 2 lives on Saturday. I be trying to keep up, man. She talk about the companies, then talk about the technology. So definitely one of the.
You see what Gabe said?
Nah, I'm great chick on him now. Get some vegetables. Shout out to the veggies. Tech Twitter has a lot of passively participants. Yeah, I'm with you on that, Gabe, man. I can't. I'm too old to be getting dragged on Twitter, Gabe, man. I haven't even really logged on to that, but I'm gonna have to check that out, man. Yeah, shout out. Tam is I had to get on her too. She doesn't realize she's an elite, man. She in the talented tip, man. She got everybody trying to build bare metal clouds on the fly. But shout out to Tam though. She got me definitely thinking on that accredited investor money. Like I said, I never really thought about that. Yeah, shout out to Tam. I'm working on my vegetables.
You know what? Something that Tam said the other day that I really liked is that she said, "I teach people how to get into Linux." Right,
Facts.
And then that's not just coding. So It's like something that she's able to teach people, and that could change people's lives. She's trying to get people up to that $200,000 to be an accredited investor. So, if you can get to that point without even having to get into, like coding, or you have like a whole other avenue that pays extremely well, then I think it's really important.
Oh, true. Tam, what's your degrees in, Tam? Put those in the chat if you don't mind. Fine. So I'm a comp sci and MBA. What degrees do you have? Shout out to Savage Science for the super chat. $3.71. One day I can super chat like Tam. You good, man. It's all good. Everybody can't be like Tam Savage. I ain't even like Tam, but I'm old super Savage Scientist, so I feel you on that. Every little bit helps, man. Every little bit. I'm gonna use that 371 to give me some vegetables, like Tam told me to do. Savage Scientist, that's gonna get my vegetables, man. I appreciate that.
You know what? We need to ask Tam how many people graduated with her who were Black.
Oh, facts. Tam, how many people graduate? What are your degrees? I'm putting Tam on. I'm gonna have Tam hit the link in a minute and just come on up. Uh-oh. Computer engineering. I knew that. Computer engineering, master's in information assurance. So Tam is degreed up. She engineering. So you got to put some respect on it with the engineering on there. So
yeah.
So how many people? It was just her, man. so that's what kind of got this live stream going. I was on B2B. We all graduated by ourselves. So are we progressing in IT if all of us graduated by myself? B2B, what just graduated? What was your year?
2018. You know what? Professor Black Ops, I lied. There was 3 Black people.
Okay.
Excluding me.
Okay. 4 is still not a lot. We 14% of the population. 4 is not killing it, really, B2B. This was the first place I heard. Oh, facts. Citizen Lou said women in Linux was the first place he heard about Kubernetes. Oh, Tim was killing a lot of things by being the first, and especially talking about the whole stack from automation to containers to bare metal. She's the only one throwing that game up. So that's why everybody's shout out to Tim. Everybody go join her. Her channel should be a little bigger because she be throwing out game most people just don't even talk about at period. So shout out to that. Citizen Lou, you're 100% correct because she's the first one to start talking about bare metal from a cloud perspective. I'm told I'm trying to get some obfuscation. I'm not trying to get that low with the bare metal. I want to do the API and call it a life. But no, facts on that.
Yeah, I'm over here feeling so uneducated. I'm sitting here like, what is bare metal?
Oh yeah, Tam be on another level.
Past me.
Facts. Tam, Black Heights, Professor Blacks be motivating me to do a career pivot. Yeah, you should do a career pivot, Adrian. I think compliance is out there. I got a couple people you can talk to. I talked to my director of compliance, a Black female, so she's definitely set up when you're ready to talk to her. She's will chit chat with you. So hooking you up. So that was kind of the once again the thought for the channel. If we all graduating one at a time, are Black people regressing in the IT field? Because I did that once again in 1990 was me. Once again, Maximilian just graduated in 2021, right? B2B, he said he was the only one.
Yeah.
So how are we progressing from 1990? I'm scared to do that number. How long ago that's 30 years? 2021 to 1990. Is that 30 years? Oh my God.
Yeah, it is. It is 30 years. Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, 30 years and we still at 1-1? What's up, PBR? Love your content. I wanted to know, coming from an automotive background, as a tech, do you think it'd be easy to yeah, because really, automotives, I'm gonna let everybody chime in. Automotive really is technology now. Hell, you be programming cars now with how they work. So I think that'll be I would say a smooth transition. So I'm gonna let B2B chime in on out there.
Oh yeah, because automotive, I mean, like they have it to where like I'm sure you know Volkswagen, they're actually different when they're built in the United States versus when they're built in Germany. They actually are worse in the United States. And it makes it so that way when you actually want to change something, you have to take it to the dealership. And that not only just Volkswagens, but also like BMWs and these other like extremely expensive cars. You have to like, oh, let me go. I got to program something on the computer. It might be something that's extremely simple, and then like somebody's windshield wiper broke. Now all of a sudden you need to go over to the dealership so they can charge you several hundreds of dollars.
Facts. The average guy can't work on any. I'll let Tim chime in on that, on what you think switching over from automotive would be like. If Gabe chime in, adding at him and put your 2 cents in that, Tim and Gabe. I'm getting tired, man. Shout out to Tim for another $100. That's why y'all need to get that accredited investor money so y'all can tip better. No, I'm just joking. No, but shout out to her bare metal, which she, like I said, I know what that is. I just never thought of it. I'm a huge VMware. Shout out to Zero Trust Networking, VMware, right? So we VM and all of that. OpenShift, OpenStack. I'm not hip to Tanzu, so get this money, facts. So, I know everything but the Tanzu. I'm going to do a little research on the Tanzu. But once again, she's throwing out there. There's so much technology out there to get this bag, right? So, Tam information. I never heard of that. That'd be part of the compliance is information insurance, Adrian. But we can definitely hook you up with Tam and drop that up. Tam dropping financial nukes. Facts. Yep. Dealing with compliance, CIA, tribe, mean said facts. That's actually what I do for a living. Shout out to insurance. Brother Michael in the house. Facts. Glad you could join us.
I'm gonna make a whole video about Tam and just say Tam drops gems for the whole 30 minutes.
Facts. I tell everybody to go there. Agent trying to get him to get this incredible information. Facts. Shout out to Godson for the $7 super chat. I appreciate it. Well, what's up, Ops? You remind me of an old friend. Hers to the Negro computer. Facts. So once again, we just got to figure out some catching up to town, shifting the decimal. Facts. You good. Once again, I'm putting that on putting that on the vegetable, Savage. I appreciate that, man. I might upgrade to asparagus now, man. Good looking out for me. I might give me a little asparagus with that. But once again, though, are we going backwards, B2B? I don't think you ever answered that. You think we're going backwards or staying the same with 1-to-1? Should we be trying harder?
I think that we are making some progress because you have your channel teaching people. Tam has her channel. I have my own channel. We're actually trying to help more people, and then the majority of the people who follow us are Black. And you have a lot of people who are a lot more interested in technology now because they're seeing that a lot of jobs won't be here in some years. So or maybe they want to make a career switch. So that's why a lot of people are going to be progressing towards getting these types of degrees, especially younger people. And then also you see people who are maybe older, maybe making a career switch over to a computer science related field. So yeah,
Okay.
I think that we are making some progress.
Okay, you cheering me up a little bit, B2B. I'm kind of pessimistic in my old age. You cheering me up because, like we just said about it, is college masters. Those are scholars and difference, and I think I definitely agree with you with certs, boot camps, right? So there's different ways to again. So you think we're bringing more people in that way?
Yeah, I think so because you know what? Um, as prime example, Mr. Awesome, right? Mr. Awesome has come on my channel many times.
Yeah,
You've
yeah.
spoken to him many times as well. And he actually said, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and buy a computer. I'm gonna learn how to do C++, and it's all because of Professor Blackhawk said before the billions for just teaching me that. But he is doing construction with like roofs and stuff like that. So he has nothing to do with electronics or IT in general. But then he actually wanted to make that change because he sees the career path that technology can give him.
No, facts. No, you're right. Tams, I will look at a car company, look at how they work. You still have skills. Shout out to Tim helping my man with his electronic units are embedded with systems that exist in vehicles. Vehicles top cannabis communication protocol for vehicles. Vehicles pretty much moving computers these days. No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah,
I actually think it's a moving robot. If you're driving a Tesla, though, shout out to Tesla. Let me let Citizen Lou get in here and kick it off. What's up, brother, Citizen Lou?
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, you got chess going on tonight on your channel, man. What you got going on your way?
Man, I got 12 days until I take my AWS certification.
Okay, facts.
So I've been kind of lacking a little bit on my content on YouTube, just a little bit. But
good luck with your AWS certification.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Between me, that's between me and you, I took a sample AWS class. Test only score 83. I'm like, oh man, I gotta get it up a little higher. So I need to study a little more.
Is 80 is I thought 70 was passing. Is 83?
It was, but those little practice tests, man, they supposed to be.
Oh, you talking about the practice? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about the actual exam. Okay.
No. I'm doing a little practice test, man, trying to get ready for a little baby test.
Yeah, you get it. I'm using that. It's called Tutorials Dojo. That's what I'm using for that. But yeah, brother, man, this is a good topic, man. I talk about this a lot. Yeah, I think before the billion said it is a cultural thing. I mean, you could even look at it. You know what's funny? I find out it's not really funny, but when you look at the hip hop or music industry, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, the producers, the people who make the beats, the majority of them are like white.
Oh, facts. One guy where I just moved here, Indiana, said he's got pictures with him and DMX. He made DMX beats. He said they were fighting. He was hiding underneath the table.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, bro, you'll see like guys who don't even look like
facts.
You know, like they would be involved in that, but they're like making all the beats. And I'm like, when you think about it, you know, making beats is a mathematical, it's a mathematical process. You have to, it has software involved. Y'all know, I'm sure y'all know how music works, but and that's why I just think I guess culturally, American Negroes just don't really want I hate to say it like that, man, but it's.
Say it, Gay. I mean, say it, Lou.
But you know what I'm saying?
Say
It hurts to say because it's the truth, but it's like because
Facts.
I remember when I was working at that warehouse job 7 years ago when I wanted to transition to programming. You know them y'all know the warehouse jobs.
Brought back a memory, man. Ooh.
Yeah, I remember I told them I wanted to learn how to code, and they was like, "Oh, that's for white boys. I can't do that." You
Facts,
can't. I was like,
facts.
What does that even
Facts.
mean? What?
Facts,
You know?
man.
And it's not that people can't do them. You know, like I said, anybody can if you put the time in. You know, the average
Yeah.
American watches what was it like 15 hours of TV a week. I mean, that's
Fast.
you just chop that down. You can put some programming lessons or Code Academy or Khan Academy or learn some networking. I had to get better on my networking recently.
Oh,
I was pretty
facts.
weak. I was weak in that. Yeah, I didn't realize how important that was. But
check me out Sunday. I'm doing AWS got a new cloud WAN. So I'm talking about cloud WAN for networking on Sunday at 3 p.m. Come check out the class cloud WAN. Go ahead.
You know I'll be here. I'll be there, man. Yeah, So it's what you were saying because it's funny too because when you see what they call it from the diaspora, like people from like Nigeria, Ghana. I mean, they're all in tech. You'll see them at Facebook. You see them. You know what I mean? Like you see it all the time. Like I see on LinkedIn. If I notice the last name, I was like, okay, yeah. I mean, it's just because they don't. I've never heard any of them say like, oh, I ain't finna learn that. That's for them white boy. That's for them Asians. I've never heard somebody from them say that. I've never heard that.
The crazy part though is and young black guys nice to be that way. We want to be in basketball, football, anything else. I go to the basketball courts. People be out there to sun up to sundown. I'm like, dude, if you study half that in AWS, dude, you be making $300,000 in 2 years, man. They be out there for 12 hours straight hooping, man.
No, that is a fact. Like, yeah, if it comes to sports or rap, we'll argue to the moon, spend all day researching, come up with a thesis on why Eminem not the best top 5 rap, just why LeBron, they'll come up with a whole statistical breakdown on LeBron versus Jordan. But
oh my God, I hate that too. The thing I do is I'm old, man. My son had his kids early too. So my grandson's 6, so he's telling me he can't memorize his timetables. So I took his Fortnite. He said, Granddaddy, why you take my Fortnite? I'm like, every damn rap lyric, but we can't get these timetables. So until you start rapping these timetables, you ain't getting no Fortnite. That brother start rapping timetables, I promise you. So,
that's a fact.
Yeah, so
what? Somebody said something earlier. I think it was on Shannon Rawls. He said that instead of when you're driving to work and you're listening to music, instead of listening to music, go ahead and spend that time listening to a podcast, maybe listening to some educational content, because that's where you spend so many hours of your day driving, right, in a car, and you're memorizing these lyrics that aren't going to help you. So
they not.
Memorize, if you memorize something that can help you, because think about it like this: the majority of the people that you spend time with are going to be your coworkers, and your coworkers ain't most of the time they ain't even going to be black. These rap lyrics they don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, right. That's a good point, bro. You gotta listen to some terminology. Like some industry lingo. Have some topics on the brain. Have some. That's a good point. Yeah, these rap lyrics will not. that was funny.
Yeah, but
you can't even have a conversation about it. Like,
nah, you can't. We can't have it on here right now. Rex.
Facts. But you go to any little kid, man. They tell you the top rap songs, every lyric spitting bars. Hell, they spitting them backwards. But you can't do your timetables. Nah, bro, you ain't getting no Fortnite today. No Fortnite for you, homie. Let me read these couple things. And Gabe, you are correct. My man does drivability tech, so I deal with embedded systems and work a lot. Yeah, shout out to C++. I was doing that in 95. Shout out to the C++. Salute to me. For the billions, you have a light to shine, so endearing. Don't change that.
Thank you, Adrian.
Yeah, Adrian is super nice, man. She's nice, man. Let's see. We get absolutely a well of the infotainment systems or a bunch of computer applications. It's very possible to blend automotive and tech. I used to be a designer, release engineer for Ford. Damn, Gabe, just be breaking out new skills every other day, man. Release it for Ford. Salute to mechanic. Tech Talk, where my play? shout out, man. The play.
That's right.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that's right. I think Gabe from Detroit. I think them. I think.
I forgot that. Tim said infotainment system are embedded Linux and Windows. Shout out to Porsche about. Tim about them cars, man. She talking about Porsche use Linux. So yeah, I agree with Lou.
Yeah,
pick your priorities. Facts.
Yeah, that's a fact.
We bad about picking priorities, man. So I think that's what's wrong.
Yeah, and I won't lie. Sometimes I catch myself. I'll watch a Lakers game and I'll indulge in. I won't lie. But
it ain't bad though. You need a break.
But you gotta, but you gotta know when to,
Facts. You gotta pick your point. You gotta pick your places when to study. You see Tam, she rapping and binary. I ain't messing with Tam tonight. She talking about she rapping and binary. Most people don't know what binary is anymore. Shout out to that A0001 is A.
I saw somebody did like a ballad with JavaScript. Like he imported the notes and then he like just started running a function and it was playing like a song. It was that I think it was that it was some Megan Thee Stallion song. I can't remember. It was like that instrumental.
Savage is quoting C Murder said, "Don't know how to read, but work the triple P." Yeah, see, them my good lyrics. We need to go back to KRS-One, the Public Enemy. Poor Righteous Teacher. That's before your time. Poor Righteous Teacher. Agent Ash, you're welcome. Let's see. Google teams up with Ford here in Detroit to build a campus of AI and stuff. Oh, true. Shout out to that. Go check out AIME Engineering Cannabis. He runs the AI in the sector, so I touched a little bit on that. No Fortnite. I didn't spell it right for the grand. Yeah, shout out. We had to shut the grandson down. He was mad at granddaddy for a minute. Till granddaddy took him to get some seafood, then he loved me again. Yep. But yeah, But yeah, like you talked about, sometimes I think the community frowns upon that, pushes people away from doing technology and stuff that's nerdy that we should ignore the community about. So
yeah, I agree, man. I think you can't really in this new age, this new era, this new century coming on, man. It's gonna be hard to do it without math. It's gonna be hard. It'll be a hard life without knowing math.
All facts, unless we talked about this too, is robotics, machine learning, AI, augmented reality, and all that. They're gonna be taking a lot of jobs away. So unless you can go up the skill ladder, you're gonna be in trouble, right? Because they're gonna take the mundane jobs away, right? So you're gonna need to be able to do those higher level jobs. Let me read this article a little more. The portion of bachelor degrees in science awarded to Black graduates remained flat from 9% from 2008 to 2016, according to most recent statistics from the National Science Foundation. Engineering, it declined from 5% to 4%, and in math, it went from 7% to 4%. Most recent figures released by the Pew Research. In 2018, Black students earned 7% of the S.T.E.M bachelor degrees. 7% to me sound hard. What's your thoughts on that?
You said 7% sounds what? What'd you say?
That sound high. That's 7% of STEMs being earned by Black people sound high to me, but maybe they're like all in Atlanta with B2B. I don't know.
But that's what I was saying. That you gotta they count Black immigrants in that too.
Oh, facts. You're right. So we probably cut that in half.
They're probably
people too.
Yeah, that's probably 6. That's probably 5. I don't know. I would say that's probably a significant portion of that 7.
No, I'll say they 6 out of 7.
Yeah, see, I would from what I gather. I mean, it's significant.
I don't think 1%, but I think
that's right here.
Pretty accurate though.
Right here, B2B, they gotta say 1.
Now I'm just saying, I don't think that, because you said you're also including immigrants as well. So I think that would be
right.
Yeah, because they count
They count deep.
immigrants as black on the black side or
Five.
but in reality they actually are African American. That's what's funny. Like the actual term actually really applies to them. You know what I mean?
Facts.
That's
Yeah, that's real. So I think it's at least 5 of the 7. So that's probably got us at 1.5.
Hey, you know what's funny? Elon Musk is African American. He's the richest African American ever.
Because he's from South
Africa. Yeah, he's the richest African American ever.
Yeah, that's what I say, black or African American.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Also, maybe he's also a part of that 7%.
You know what I'm saying?
Now you really get me.
By the way, man. you know the way it's you said it's depressing. I feel you.
Yeah, it is, man. We just can't be hooping and spacewalking, man. Come on.
Yeah, we can't, man. Yeah, it's only 400 jobs in the NBA.
Then let's think about this. Google said they're gonna train 40 million people in Google GCP to try to catch up with AWS. That's the whole damn black population, man.
No, that's
Google said they're gonna train 40 million people.
Yeah, they trying to catch up to
Facts. That could be our black people, and we'd be back in the mix. Not just playing for real, though, man. Let me read this about Engineering Savages. Engineering said he was in jail for a minute for not paying ticket. While in jail, he was bored and he started reading a math book. A dude got mad and cussed him out. So he almost get in a fight because Savage Scientist was trying to get a little literature in jail for a ticket, and brothers was hating on him.
I got a story about that, Savage. Can I tell you? It's not long.
Go ahead.
When I was in the Navy, I would you could be on Facebook all day long. They won't say nothing to you. Man, I pulled out a book. They looking at me. Oh, you ain't got nothing to do. They looking at me mad. You know what I'm saying? That's why. And they got rid of the library and put a bunch of PlayStations in. I was like, are y'all serious?
Really?
Yeah, they got rid of the library and added a bunch of PlayStations in. I was like, man, this is. I knew it was time for me to get out.
I have a similar story, and it isn't about me, but when I was a security guard, I actually had an older woman who was a coworker, and she had to be in her 50s, maybe in her 60s, and she was like being a security guard. She was just in a parking lot, and she pulled out her book to read. And the person who was actually paying for the security guards and stuff, he came over, saw that she was reading the book, called the manager, and the manager cursed her out for reading the book, saying "Oh, you can't be reading the book." I was thinking man, you there for 8+ hours, standing, not doing nothing, and they want you to just sit there and not even read a book. I'm like, what? You know what I mean?
No, that's crazy. I believe it too. I know it happened.
And then you know what's even worse is that security guard, we're not supposed to really do anything other than call the police and run. That's it. So if anything happens, she's not gonna be up here trying to fight nobody or nothing like that. She's just supposed to have a body there. That's supposed to be the deterrent. So that way nobody comes in. What does it matter if she's reading a book or not? So, but curse that old lady out.
Yeah, that's some weird dynamic. Like people don't, but man, they say if you look at the demographics, they the average adult American hasn't read a book in 2 years.
Oh, facts. Well, I'm
maybe longer than that.
Yeah, but I'm hoping they're getting it. Well, I guess if you got a tablet, that will hopefully that's not considered a book, but you still read. I don't know, but you're right.
Yes.
Let me read a couple of these real quick.
Oh, go ahead.
My man Jay Lou, the mechanic. Yeah, I believe Detroit is going to be a tech hub. We have a lot of tech companies moving here, like True Simple. Yeah, try out True Simple. I actually did a video. I believe autonomous trucks in the South are going to be running in the next 5 years, pretty deep from True Simple. I did.
You think Sky? Oh yeah, that's right. You rocking with Skynet? That's right. I remember.
Facts. They rolling. So yeah, check me out. I did a autonomous truck video. And True Simple was, they actually sold stock and they're actually rolling down south deep for their test. So I definitely think that's what's gonna happen in that NSF. Wow, facts. Tim, shout out to Peter. Let's go back up real quick. Good point, Citizen Lou. I'm going to tune in when you do. Oh yeah, definitely goes. Check out Women in Linux. Tim said, I'm warning you now. I'm going to go crazy on info. Yeah, you got to be ready for Tim, man. You got to have to get your coffee in the morning. Get ready.
You gotta come with a note. You gotta come with a notepad.
Facts. 70 million from IBM, 70K with AWS, 40 million from GCP, and 100K from Oracle. So facts. Tim, you be putting a lot of great content out. Yep, facts.
I got to go up on one of the dance panels one day, but then I tried to go up one time, but then they were just talking about something I had no clue they were talking about. I kind of knew what Vim and everything, Vim and everything is, but they were just going into so much detail. I was like, okay, I can't.
Facts.
Hang.
Oh, facts, man. You got to, Tim give you that knowledge. You got to catch up, man. You got to catch up.
Yeah, the only time I use Linux is when I'm going into a Logstash box or trying to just move data from Elasticsearch over to something else.
You need to just go and jump in there, man. Just go and get in there, man. Full heart.
Linux just
use it, man. Yeah, shout out to Savage Science. Yeah, Detroit is coming up. Like you said, from the tech scene. I think they're trying to make a tech hub. Check sign is what is AVA like now? Has it changed much? Scored high enough for the Navy and Air Force. I was gonna go to the reserve, then I chickened out. I forgot Tam was in the service. I see Ford is also partnership with Tesla. I guess I didn't know that one.
Yeah, I don't. I took the SVAB in, was it 2013? That's when I took it. I did pretty good. I was gonna go to the Air Force, but they acted like everybody trying to join the Air Force, right? So they ain't really hurting for for applicants. So they kind of ghosted me low key. So the Navy people were cool, so I just went to the Navy.
You know what I heard is that I don't know if you like, because when you go on campus and then they actually have like those the recruiters out there, and then they have like the pull-up bar. If you can actually do all the pull-ups, I think they just ask you to do like 10 pull-ups. If you can do all those pull-ups, they try to recruit you right then and there.
For the Marines?
I think it's the Marines.
Yeah, because the Marines, they're the only ones who have that pull-up thing in their like physical readiness exam.
Yeah, they really sit up there and they're like, oh, you thinking that I tried it one time, I could do like 3, but that was when I was skinnier.
I feel you on that. I feel you on that one.
Are you on mute?
Somebody joined, didn't they?
Yeah, my father got introduced Tam. She came in the house. I got to give her the proper introduction. Miss Bare Metal, Miss Terraform, Miss, I don't know. Welcome, Tam, to the panel.
Man, what's going on with y'all? What y'all in here doing tonight?
I don't know. I'm trying to be like B2B. He usually at night. I'm trying to be like my younger counterpart. They be doing these late night sessions, but I'm starting to doze off. What you got?
Man, you always dozing off.
I'm old, Tam. I'm old. I'm trying to build up. Thank you for the super chats. I really appreciate it.
Damn, you sound like you just rolled over.
Nah, I ain't roll over and then I'm just chilling. I'm getting the show ready for in the morning.
What's the topic?
So there's a couple of topics in the morning, depending on the show. But the first show, tech stocks and jobs it's gonna be about. I've been looking at family offices. So there's family office and multifamily office. With family office, you gotta have 100 million in wealth, and then multifamily office is anywhere from 10 to 20 million, and there's only 10,000 single family offices and 6,000 of them in the U.S. So I was going through like what's under the umbrella of each one of those, and then I got some other stuff that I want to talk about too. But I'm like, how many black people have single family offices, and then how many black people got multifamily offices? I those are just stats I'm curious about.
I was thinking about that, Tam. I was thinking that with the advent of everybody working remote, I was wondering if there was like somebody renting out rooms or spaces in their house to give like a co-working type of vibe, but they're like doing it out of their house, and they just charge people whatever is accountable today. I was thinking about that. That might be, I don't know if you were going. I was just saying that's funny. I was thinking about that the other day.
Yeah, so with the family office, it's more of a structure, so you can do estate planning and so forth. But what you're talking
Okay.
about, um, yeah, so what you're talking about, it would like this is something I thought I had a while ago was to get a space and like maybe like a warehouse, right? Where especially during the pandemic. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, I think you can't even say that. Sorry about
You
that.
fine, you fine. I mess up every day, Tam. You good? All right.
You said you can't
My
say
bad. I forgot you can't say that, even though it's out. But I forgot you can't say that.
You
Uh,
good? You
but
good?
but during this thing we call high inflation, how about that? And then take a warehouse, right, and turn it into like an office space, but also do some create an entertainment environment where you can maybe you could come in, you can play some air hockey, you could do some tennis, you could do some rock wall climbing, like just make the space unique where you could get out of your home office and still work but still be social distance at the same time.
I got you like a camp. I got you like a campus like those.
Yeah, like a little campus, like, but you got a warehouse. It gets people out of the house, and it could be inside the city, but just enough on the outskirts or something like that. But it gives people that flexibility. It was just some thoughts I had around, how to make a space more inviting for people to come out, but yet feel safe.
Right.
That's a good play. Hold on, let me read this real quick. Everybody chime in. Peter, investor, shout out to him. What do we need to do to win the race to top the nation to AI? China's closing the gap. I have no clue because AI, we can't get people in programming. So artificial intelligence is on top of that. So
Yeah, I think
that's
that's
a
it.
tough question. I don't have an answer for that one. I'm gonna throw it to Tim first. What's your thoughts on that, Tim?
Well, they've been leading the way for quite some
Facts.
time.
Facts.
Again, I've said this before, that certain countries are known for certain things. Like when you think of Israel, they're known for security. When
Facts.
you when
Facts.
you think of China, they're known for AI. When you think of India, they're known for big data. But
Facts.
they involve themselves with big data and cloud, so they're always behind that. And so I have always asked this question: what if we had to break it down just as a group of people, just say
Mhm.
just black people, what will we be known for? Right now we're known for entertainment, but what in tech can we be known for other than social media? Like what is our niche, what is our thing? And if you bring it up to a higher scope, what is the United States known for other than
Facts.
military, right?
Facts.
Like what is our niche, what is our thing? Like when these well, not companies, but when these countries make a mandate, it's a mandate for the entire country.
Mhm.
And they involve the curriculum for the entire country all the way down to grade school, right? So we don't I don't think we have enough organization to even do that, right? We
Is that the
could,
community?
but
Is
we
that the
don't have it.
community or the nation? Which one are you talking about? Both.
Just both, right? Even if we say it in a community, right? Like, okay, say you, me, and all the tech YouTubers get together and like and say, look, I don't care nothing else about what y'all talking about. We gonna push AI. We're gonna push AI. We're gonna push machine learning, autonomous cars, edge computing, and robotics. I don't want to hear
Right.
nothing else nobody else is talking about. We don't care nothing about that. How many
Facts.
people will be on board, and how many people will have the skills to even build up to that,
That'd be tough.
right? And so we have to ask, we have to ask ourselves, like, and I said this yesterday on Sir Earl Speaks. We have to ask ourselves, how do we see ourselves in tech? Are we gonna always be workers? Are we always
Right.
gonna be entrepreneurs creating something around tech, or are we gonna be, you know, CTOs or or business owners or maybe co-founders? Like there's multiple ways, but how do we see ourselves in tech? And that's something that I think as you grow in tech, you're gonna change that aspect of tech, or how you see yourself.
No, that's true. That's true. That's a deep question, though. Hell, I would love to
Yeah,
see us just be workers for a minute. But go ahead, Citizen Luke,
no, I
chime
was
in.
just gonna say what you. I said that's a good point. How do we see ourselves in tech? I was just chewing on that. I was just thinking about it.
That's a lot to chew on, man. That's a lot to chew
Right.
on.
That's what I was because what cause I saw something the other day. They said that what of the FANG companies, what 4 out of 5 are Indian. The
Yep.
CEOs, excuse me, the 4 out of 5
Yep,
CEOs are Indian.
exactly. They're
Facts.
CEOs, and so now that you say that, right? So now you have to ask yourself is what kind of network are they in order for them to be in those positions? Who are they talking to? Where are they networking at in order to even be a thought process? To be in the thought process. How when they get in the company, what's the blueprint, right? So I mean, it's a lot of work that we have to do, but it's also a lot of that is given. I don't want to say given to them, but a lot of that is like, okay, I like you, you like me, you can run my company, right? And
Facts.
then a lot of that is like, I don't know about that one running my company, right?
Facts. 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 Facts.
So we just gotta ask ourselves some questions.
That's
You're right
kind of
about
what made
that.
me start one of those things. Is a lot of those people started those business from PhD programs and master programs, and they had those high degrees to get in those spots to be accessible to those type of networks, right?
Yeah, you like the Google founders.
Yeah.
Like they were PhD candidate working on that when they made Google. I think yeah, you're right. Yeah, and then Zuckerberg was at Harvard. I think he was studying psychology, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I think not. On the movie, he was a programmer, and he tricked the seniors and stole some of their projects. So they had a programmers in the movie. Now I need to do a little research to see if that was true.
Yeah, no, I think he was. No, you're right. I think he was doing because I think he already knew how to code. Because his dad was a dentist, and
Facts,
he had
facts.
he had already knew how to code before he went to college. That's another thing too. Times, man, if you're trying to learn how to code in college, you kind of a little step behind already.
Oh yeah,
Like,
that's right.
Yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
I was programming in high school before I even went there, man. So now you're right.
Man, I remember I got into coding right when I went into college, and then they asked me some extremely simple questions like how to print something out, like the data type, stuff like that. I had no clue.
And
Very
see,
simple questions.
and that's not even like that's nothing to do with like intelligence. It's just exposure, being exposed to that type of that thing like programming console.log, stuff like
No,
that.
facts,
Like
facts, facts.
there was one girl, she went to a private school, and it was some kid that had an app on the app store making like $10,000 a month in high school.
Okay.
So just being exposed to that, you get what I'm saying? Like before he even went to school, he already knew what he was already making money.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
crazy thing
and you
is
know what?
it was on a Tone's channel. They show these little kids in these super private schools in New York. They were in the fourth grade writing programs for this ball, and they had a programmer come in the middle of the school to teach these little kids how to program. They were already programming at 6, man.
Mhm. And
Go
you
ahead,
know what?
BDB.
Another thing is that when I was going through that struggle trying to just figure out some of the most simple things about programming, I sit up there and I ask people who they say, "Oh, you know what? Your cousin's best friend's uncle he's into IT, he's into coding and all the other kind of stuff, and you can go ahead and I have his number. You can ask him, and then you come to find out he doesn't know how to code. He does help desk or something like
Fine,
that.
fine, fine.
And but because they think that
No
oh yeah,
way.
programming. Oh yeah, everybody knows. You know computers. So when I went through that, I had no help, and then that was actually the issue that I had to kind of work myself through. Is that even for like, because when you first get your first assignment, it has nothing to do with any coding. It's just like create an algorithm. You're like, what is an algorithm? Like you just say, what is the most simple basic thing? But I wish I had got exposed to when I was even younger than that. I just got into it because my dad told me to, right? And then he was in it.
That's
And
one thing I want to do on my channel is start with Python for kids in middle school. There's a book on Amazon that says teach I think 9 and 10-year-olds Python. So I might do that on my channel this summer. Go ahead, Tam.
but you brought up a good point on that. B2B. One of the biggest things is the support system, right? You're a kid in school. You bring home your programming uh your programming problem, and your mom or whoever is in there is like, we're gonna have to get you a tutor, or I can't afford a tutor. You may have to stay late after school and have someone help you. It's just those little bitty things that you don't think mean a lot. Fortunately, when I was in school, I finished all my programming stuff while I was in school, but we was on an Apple IIe programming and using go and subroutines, go to statements and subroutines. You know. So that's why I got my love for. I was like, oh, this is fun. And then when it came down to like really programming, of course, computer science, they take you through all these hoops of, calculus and uh Cal 1, Cal 2, physics 1, 2, linear algebra and all of that stuff. And then really recently, the only time you really use that stuff is data science and AI and machine learning and writing algorithms. If that's your route, if that's your route, so it's just interesting to see like things that you've taken, you know, 10, 15 years ago is now you're just now getting to really utilize those skills.
Mhm.
Right. So
No, that's
I've never used my calculus too, but in real life, and I've been in the game for 30 years. I've never used it in real life, to be honest. Let me read a
no.
couple of these real quick. One guy, like, quote, our people own businesses. There is no pipeline to ownership from the leaders to the community.
Right.
Let's see who came up. Oh, Gabe A came up. What's up, Gabe?
What's up? What's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
It's
Hey,
going.
what's
Our
up? What's
this
Clear.
up,
is
Gabe?
How you
this is a
doing?
What
continuation
up?
from yesterday, Gabe. Continuation from
Absolutely.
yesterday. Go ahead,
I'm with
brother.
it.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, nothing. No. I know you were about to read the article. Yeah. So I'll just chime in as you read, or
Okay, that's
after
cool.
you read.
Good. Reading your right now, I'm so far, but I think it starts with identifying problems within tech, discovering innovative solutions. From there, we can't say shy away from leadership roles. Go on and chime in on your your your.
Yeah, man. So kind of with the thing about kind of with Tam's the discussion or the topic that she brought up. I think that man, it's wild because I think that we are so underrepresented, and I think part of that is because we do shy away from a lot of roles, right? A lot of those roles that come with more responsibilities. Brothers, I hear a lot of times brothers like, I don't want to be responsible for a whole lot of other people, or I
Facts.
don't want to be a manager because that comes with more stress. Or I've even heard dudes say like, okay, those are the first people, like managers and leaders. They're the first people to get their heads chopped off, right? They're the first people to lead an organization
Facts.
when the budget is messed up or things that go wrong. So I see a level of fear. I see a level of not wanting to step up to responsibilities. And I think that the thing about that is that, I mean, that's part of the reason why that underrepresentation exists. So yeah, that's kind of why I just want to start off with. I don't know if that creates a fire, but just want to start off by saying that.
No, I'm going to confess something. I was that guy at first. I had my first team was excellent. They were cool. My second team, they sucked. They were going around me. I didn't get invited to stuff. So I'm like, why do that when I can make, as I thought, as good of money and just advise? Like right now, I advise CISOs and CIOs, but shout out to Tim. I ain't at that investor money, so I think I need to step up my leadership game. Then two is, this young black guy was working us, and this other white guy liked the hoop. I just told my boss to hire him. I was the gatekeeper. I never thought of myself as a gatekeeper. This guy's real mean on our team. He goes, I don't like that one dude. So I said, Jan, I like him. He said, well, if he don't work out, you got to do his work. I said, I got him, right? So that way, now I'm bringing people. I'm the gatekeeper. I can get people on the team, right? That's because theoretically I'm in leadership on the team I'm on, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why we got to get those positions. Go ahead.
I think another point that Tim had brought up is that whole idea of funding, right? Being able to, because I think that there is a sales component to everything that we do. Like we're not just working in tech and we're people just behind keyboards and computers. I think that we really need to understand like the business of technology or the business of tech. The closer you get to being able to generate business, to be able to produce business, to be able, like your ideas turn into something with a dollar sign in front of it. I think that really is where you start to make a lot of a difference within the field because, you know, tech is a business enabler, specifically, right? Cybersecurity is a business enabler. It's not something that is independent of business. So I think that we should very much so think of it in that way too, rather than just thinking about it as we're getting these skills to get a job. So.
No, you're right. I'm starting to learn that, right? Because when you're in cybersecurity, I help a lot of vendors get into our company because we do compliance. You got to be at a certain thing. You know, you got to do the FIPS and the STIGs or whatever we do in CIS check. You got to be able to meet that from a cybersecurity to get business from a large state agencies. And one of them was an $80 million project, right? Mm-hmm. So that's definitely an enabler.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and to piggyback on some of the thoughts and ideas, I think one of the biggest things that concepts I should say we have to do is think of ourselves as a business, right? No matter if we are W-2 or 1099, we just have to think of ourselves as a business. So, you know, as you interview, like, okay, you know, it's almost like you're playing chess, right? You know, what are questions they're going to ask? What questions would I ask if I was a business? If I wanted to hire someone, what would I be looking for? You know, so you're positioning yourself to be the best candidate, to be the best option for whatever that case may be, whether it's a leadership position or what have you. We just have to learn how to think of ourselves as not expendable. We, you know, we're coming in and we're changing the lives of others when we come in the door, right? And understand your worth, and understand that if that company can't pay you for what you have worked, and not what you feel, what you have worked to acquire, then you should be able to walk away from that. And we have to, it's time to play hardball. Like, it shouldn't be no more stuff coming out about a recruiter offered the girl asked for 89,000 and but the job paid 130.
130.
Yeah, but that
I did a video on that, and that was just crazy.
Yeah,
great video. Great video, by the way.
And people got upset with the recruiter, but I don't look at the recruiter to go fight for me.
No.
I'm not looking for you to go fight for me. Look, this where I'm at. What you gonna do? What y'all got? What's up? You know. So you say no, y'all can't do that. Okay, cool.
Gabe, you came out with that video?
Huh?
You came out with that video about
I did a video on it. I didn't like this. I can send the link if you want. I can send it to you in the back. But
drop it in the chat.
I'll drop it. But yeah, kind of even to that.
Drop it.
Yeah, I'm a moderator. Yeah, even to that point, right? That whole thing about, you know, like, do we ever have conversations about rejecting offers? We don't ever talk about that. Tell an organization like, listen.
I do.
Okay,
I do.
Boom, right? so like rejecting offers, right? In order to, and like, so like for the most recent, for let's say one of the roles I've applied to, the first time that the recruiters and after I went through the interview process, I rejected the first offer. And then after a couple of months, I'm like, hey, how's it been going? Hey, I want to re-engage. Let me see if you all still have an appetite for this role. Seems like some stuff is opening up for me. The second offer came back better than the first offer that I rejected. I mean, when you talk about playing chess, I mean, that's that's how they that's how you can tell they really want you. It's when they give you a
Exactly.
better offer the second time. And I wasn't expecting it, but I learned something from that for sure.
And Gabe, I really wish you had said, like, we had this whole conversation just last month. I really wish we had this.
Listen, we have so many good conversations. I can't even catch them all, man. I can catch them when I can get to them. Here, I'm about to drop the link to that video. But yeah, go ahead, y'all. I pass the mic.
Yeah, man. I need to start taking some notes.
No, but that's to it. I'm glad he did it. Start here. Tim, I always do it is I think Black people, we scared that we're gonna really miss out on an opportunity and people play us. Right. I think like Tam always says it, I'm gonna give her credit for you got to know your worth. There's a lot of things she gives you to look up jobs. Glassdoor, I know she's got one much better than that, but she gives you these things so you can look up. And two is if somebody asks me what my role is, I'll tell them. I probably might not tell them on mic, but if you want to know what I make, I'll tell you. If you're trying to get a similar job in a similar state. So I mean, I think there's resources out there so you can figure out what that dollar amount is.
You better be telling them 200K.
I know what the magic number is.
I mean, it depends on the role too, right? I mean, you can see a lot of that open, like levels.fyi. You can go on Fishbowl, you can go on Blind, you can go on Glassdoor. Indeed, there's so many different.
Stop saying Glassdoor. That's a cuss word.
Well, listen, I would say that you can compare, like so. I say use Glassdoor as a comparator because I don't know if you saw on Glassdoor, it has a confidence rating based upon how many submissions there were for certain roles. So if it's a lot of submissions,
Tam is huffing.
What's going on?
Tam is huffing. Go ahead, Tam. Go ahead.
You think it's wrong or something?
Yeah, I think Glassdoor is off by about 40,000-50,000 per role. I mean, literally.
Submissions. Well, I guess if it's self submissions for those roles,
what's
the metric to say that it's off?
Mm-hmm. So the reason why I say it's off because I look at the roles that I have gotten and I go back and compare to the roles that what they say that's worth, and I'm like that it be off like really sometimes it be off like 90,000. I'm like, if I would have stuck with you all, I'd be broke. I try not to use them. I try to do, and I did this on my channel. Like I try to use Indeed as like as a midway point, as a median, and then I'll go look at levels, FYI, and Blind. And then the other thing too is a lot. If you search Twitter, there are a lot of anonymous salary ranges posted. Where people get created Excel sheets and stuff like that. Not to say that somebody may not be lying, right? Yeah. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying at least give yourself a fair chance. I don't think Glassdoor gives you that fair chance, right? Because right now, like the median salary, like it's been floating between 136 and 150 to come in at entering into tech as a software engineer. That's what I've been seeing. Anywhere from 136 to 150. And then when you start talking about a cloud engineer, they've been saying cloud engineer comes in better than a software engineer. So I've been seeing now for the past year and a half that the median salary in tech is 150.
Hey Tam, can I add this?
I don't know.
That's what I've been seeing on these are articles. These ain't my numbers. These are just articles.
Well, even just like Amazon, they just recently went up on their base salary, right? So
yeah.
I'm gonna let you go away.
I would never. But again, I said this before, but I would have never taken a job from Amazon anyway, because their base salary was $160,000 and nobody made over 160. But so that's why people are always saying like, okay, Amazon, you cute. But we're gonna go over here to Google, and we're gonna go over here to Facebook and make our money, and that's why Amazon had a problem trying to hire and keep people. Amazon has called me 7 times. They's like, yeah, we know, but we got a good offer for you now. I'm like, no, you don't. You ain't changed that base pay. They had to come up off the cash.
Yeah, B2B, I'm gonna
Like
go
the
right
movie
after
said,
you.
they had to set it off.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, so let me tell you guys this: that I've learned a few things through some experiences that are completely unrelated to tech. But on the side, I've been doing like my own business. In addition to working my full time job and doing YouTube. But I did some photography, and I learned that I undersold myself. And
Mm-hmm.
I did the same thing in my own working experience. And what happened was I gave this person like half of what a lot of the other photographers were charging people. So let's say like the base in Atlanta is like 160 per hour. I was charging like 80, right? And then I was sitting
Yeah, they
here
was
thinking
loving
like,
you.
man, oh yeah,
They loved
they
you.
did. They were complaining about every single thing, and I realized that the more that you charge about something, the better quality the person that you're actually dealing with. Because hey, you know what? They're not going to be sitting here going down your back like Gabe as an example, right? He probably makes way more money than he ever has made in his life, and he probably has
Mhm.
you have more responsibilities, but you also say that you have more autonomy. Right?
Yeah.
You can actually have more freedom. And also somebody on my platform, they said, don't just stick to like a $10,000 range, right?
No.
Have like a wider range when you're negotiating a salary, because like, hey, you'll maybe be able to get something in the middle, and then that'll be more so what you're actually looking for.
Man, I say
So
not
he
even
says
give them
like,
a range, man. I say tell them your number. Tell them your number plus like 20 or 30. And
okay.
then pretty much that's kind of how I think about it. But yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. You were still in the middle of a thought.
Oh yeah, I was just saying like, but that $30,000. I mean, that's starting off. That's huge for a lot of people. I mean, I was sitting over here trying to negotiate. I was taking people's notes, and taking notes and stuff like that, and I negotiated. They told me like, no, we ain't gonna budge on that. I was sitting here like, well, I guess, but then, and then just took it. But then if I just said, no, I don't need it that bad. And that's what you gotta have to actually do is that
Yeah.
if you're not desperate for a position, don't just take anything that they give you. I mean,
I
and then
think
also you
yeah.
want to charge them more because, like, hey, you know what? Then it makes it better for you because you have to take all this responsibility on as well while you give them
Yeah.
value, and they're making a whole bunch of money off of you that you probably won't even know how much money you're making off of them or you're making
Absolutely.
for them.
And I think it's a mentality that we come at work from like an African American perspective. We feel like we should be grateful that somebody's given us a job, right? We a lot of us do. We're like, thank you so much for giving me this job. That we take the first offer, or just like you mentioned, B2B, we come at it with a desperation thing. We finally get it hit. Yeah, let me go for the first offer. Rather than what Tam was saying, you got to look at yourself as a business, right? A business isn't just flaunting itself around. It's looking to take market share. It's looking to create differentiators within the market so that it propels itself to where it desires to be. So and it's so funny because it's like my mother's generation, my grandmother's generation, they always talk about you always going for a new job. What new job you at now? I'm like, I don't know who the highest bidder. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at right now. So that's all I got to worry about. But they still think about quote unquote job hopping, right? And it's not really. I don't think it's really a thing anymore, honestly. But I'll pass it. See if somebody else want to chime in because I can go all day on this.
Yeah. Because my mom was like that. She used to tell me stop job hopping. Then later on, she was like, "Man, these companies be laying a lot of people off." I'll be going, "That's why I be job hopping. They don't love me, mama. I gotta get this money." But
it's
the other,
business.
the other back part of that too is when you get to six figures, you usually making more than anybody in your family. So when you get that offer, if you tell somebody you turn down six figures, they will look at you crazy, right? Because you're making more than 99% of your family. So how could you dare turn down a great job at 100,000. But Tam was like, it's got to be 200,000 though, right? That's a different mindset, a different thought pattern. Like both of you says, if your skills warrant that, you deserve that. That should be your number.
Like
And
what
one more
Peter Sagan
thing,
said.
I was going to
Go
say
ahead.
one more thing. I think it's very important for us to really start having those salary conversations with each other, because nobody gains value from us, I guess, keeping salary secret, other than the companies that that want to lowball you, or the recruiting companies that want to lowball you. I mean, that's the most, right? I know, like Blind, Glass, with Tim don't like it, Glass door. Any of those places, they're great, right? These places are great, but nothing is better than actual people's salaries. People sharing, hey, this was my offer for this organization for this type of role, right? So I think that needs to be a conversation that needs to be had more and more. Of course, we have to be sensitive, right? People, because I think that the salary thing it's a psychological thing where as soon as you talk about salary, people start to rank each other, and it almost becomes sometimes I mean, it can even create dissension, right?
It does.
So I think definitely needs to be a careful conversation, but having that conversation with trusted parties, with peers, with mentors and mentees, I think that conversation needs to be had often.
Yeah, shout out to Tam and shout out to Black Heights. I mean, Black Heights showed some W-2s one time. I was like, oh, I got to get my game up. I'm old. I'm behind, right? But like you said, I don't have any animosity towards both of those two. Even though I'm older than both of them, they got it. I'm just trying to get it. To me, they opened my eyes because I'm in the Midwest. So I was like, okay, I'm doing something. And when Tim came out with the investor money, I'm like, well, am I doing something? I got to rethink my game, right? No animosity towards her. Shout out, she giving out good information. I got to take it and run with it.
So a couple of things. So on the range, like when I look at it, right? If I'm hopping to the next job, my minimum, like say if I'm at 100,000, my next job at a minimum has to be offering a minimum of 125. It doesn't make sense for me to move for anything less.
Facts.
Right. So
because you're more skilled, you got more experience. Like, why would you accept less in the next role?
What? Not even less. Why would I accept anything between that's 110, 115? Because it doesn't make mathematical sense. You got to do the math behind it. Like, you don't. It's not even money that you even see on a twice a month basis, right? So I always look at it like, what's my financial goal? Can I live off of one paycheck and pay all my bills? Can I invest my money? Can I max out my 401k? Can I set up an IRA? Can I take that money that I still have and go invest and do an FHA loan on a house or what have you? Do I have options to do what I want to do? And if that job is not providing me, the next job is not providing me those options or more, then I just don't make my move. But that's how I look at it. But I didn't look at it like that at first. But now you're in the game, because salaries now are crazy, right? These salaries now, 550,000, $1 million. We didn't see those salaries back in the day like that unless you were selling a company. So the salaries now are absolutely crazy. And then when we start talking about um how we're looking at ourselves, don't forget to also look at your options in terms of insurance and equity and your time off and other things that you may want, like, hey, are they paying for your training? How much are they offering in training? Negotiating school, like if you want to go get your master's, if you want to go to a certain conference, just all these other things that need to be negotiated when you're walking in the door. Don't take the bait and be like, oh, they said after I've been here for 6 months, they'll do an evaluation. That's the wood nickels, right? That's what they're selling you. Don't do it, because unless you got it written in black and white in the contract and that manager is gonna be there for the next 6 months to honor that, because people switch and leave in 2 weeks or so, and you were like, oh, but my old manager said, they were like, yeah, new management, we ain't doing that, right? So you got to take that. And then the last but not least is when we're talking about salaries. um I think we could talk about salaries, but I just know us. We don't want to share salaries. We don't want to share how much we're making, because either A, we're embarrassed, or B, we don't want people to know. And if you really look at it, right, if you look at it on a grander scale, and the numbers came out again this week, you know, our median household is only 19,000. His Hispanic household is 36,000, and a white household is 189,000. So why we not sharing is a question. Like, we
Sam, can I answer that question?
go ahead.
Go ahead, Biddy.
So, and Tam, you know that, like, as an example, the lead attorney is somebody who shares like his income, right?
Hmm.
Right. He's talking about, oh, I'm making like $50,000 in a month, and then you have people who get jealous of that, to where then they go after, oh, you know what, you used to be so humble, and now you're over here you're almost talking down on us. But in actuality, he's just trying to motivate. So even if you try to motivate others by saying, hey, you know what, I make that $200,000, trying to motivate somebody to, like, hey, we can all get this. I'll teach you how. And then they say, you know, I don't want to have to put in the work to be able to get to where you are. I'm just gonna get upset that you are where you are, despite where you came from.
Oh yeah, I get it. I get it all the time.
I
I
was
get it
gonna
all the
say,
time. I get it all the time. I get, oh, you trying to be white, or you want to be white. I get it, and I just be like, oh, if that's what you call it, then cool. You don't sign my paycheck. You not paying my bills, and you don't have my dreams. I appreciate you. Thank you, and have a good day. I get it all the time, and I keep it pushing, because that just lets me know what category and what bucket I need to put you in. Note to self: can't talk money with them, because they ain't never seen it before, so they don't understand it. So
And
don't
that's,
talk
man,
money to
let me
them.
tell you where the biggest rub comes there is with
oh,
family. I would
ooh,
say, that's
mm,
probably one of the this is sad advice, but it's
facts,
almost never tell your family what you make it.
facts, facts.
Unless it's your
True.
wife or your husband or somebody, but
No,
don't tell your family what you're making. I ran into that issue, and that changed a
oh,
lot of family dynamics.
facts.
Man, this had to be back in 2015, 2006, 16. It ain't never been the same. It ain't never been the same. So
Oh,
sad
facts.
advice, but
You know
I
what?
think it's
The only
100%.
people I've ever told is my parents would always tell me, don't even tell your significant other. They always told me
no.
that you tell your
Man,
wife, tell your
come
wife
on,
that
man.
kind of information. That's what they
Man.
told me. They said,
How about your
when you get
taxes? How you
married,
gonna do your taxes without?
Facts. I
Are you
gonna
gonna
do
do
your
them separately every time? Or?
you know
What's
what I'm saying?
going
Like, tell your wife that. Don't tell your girlfriend. That's what
on?
they'll
Okay.
say.
Oh, okay,
Facts.
okay. I see what you're
Facts.
saying.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. Facts. That makes more
Yeah.
sense. That's fine.
And
I'm I'm
good.
about to switch. I'm about to switch it up. Y'all see it? What good books do you? What good books for children? What good books for your children? Do y'all have any recommendations? I don't have any. I'm gonna do some research. I don't have any children's books for IT that I could recommend right now. Anybody got
No, I
any?
don't. I know they have a Python for kids. I tried to
Yeah,
get my
I'm.
nephew on it. And we were going through it, and he just kind of got into basketball, and that was it. And I lost him. Lost
I
him when
think
he
I'm.
turned 15, 16. That was
Oh
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna use that book for middle schools this year. I think I know the one you do it because I saw it on Amazon. So I think that's the one I'm gonna use to try to teach. Now Gabe's got me a little worried. I'm trying to teach middle schoolers that on this
Listen,
summer on my YouTube. So I'm thinking
I
about
lost him, man. I lost my little nephew. He gone. He
it.
gone to the
Gone to
court.
the basketball.
He gone to the court.
He'll be back in about 5 years. He'll be back.
But he is taking a program class, and he told me his teacher reminded me of him. I was like, "What's this guy like?" Man, he sent me this picture of this like nerdy guy. I'm like, "All right, that's how you see me. That's how you see me now." I was like, "All right, wait till next time I see you. Give
You
you
know,
a
this is
noogie."
Gabe.
Get him a little
It's
nookie.
okay to be short circuit too.
No, man, this guy, you should have seen his picture, Tam. You should have seen his picture of this guy. I was like, you are not about to compare me to Buddy. Stop it. Stop it. But go
Facts,
ahead.
facts.
If anything for a child, I would recommend Lego Mindstorms and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then also they also have like competitions and so forth. And even if you're not gonna do Lego Mindstorms, if the kid is into gaming, get into the gaming groups as well too, because they travel around the US, for these gaming conventions, and they're offering scholarships for kids at 15 years old for gaming. So look, if your kid is into gaming, like go ahead and get that gaming money, right?
You know what's interesting? I used to do that when I was a kid. It was called Major League Gaming. We used to like go to we
Mm-hmm.
went to MLG Dallas and we competed and stuff. And you know another thing too. I remember when we were playing on Xbox Live. There's this thing called Force Host where you gotta essentially make sure you're the host, so like other people can't cheat. So that was like some IP address. I didn't even know I was learning networking. Like now that I'm doing it now, I'm like, oh, okay, that was you have to like make sure your IP address is in the software. That way, when the games connect, you get host. Because if they get host, that means like it's their connection. They can manipulate the game and shoot you a million times. You can't fight back, and you just lose, kind of sort of right. That's online, but yeah, you're right though. Video games is a good gateway into a lot of tech stuff. Like it's very. I think it was my little gateway. I think.
That's what's up. And then kind of some of those competitions. I remember when it's called First Robotics. I think that's through high school. They might have a middle school version of that. And that Lego Mindstorm, a lot of times progressive to that robotics interest, where kids are literally like programming robots, like autonomous robots, to do certain functions or battle at times. I don't think they have a lot of the battle bot stuff, but they would have like competitions where robots have to complete certain tasks, like pick up something that's a certain weight. They have to stay within certain lines from beginning to end, and it really helps them right with that. Sometimes they even program machine learning algorithms so that the device can use those sensors to be able to learn the environment to complete certain tasks. So it can get real cool, real quick. So yeah, that's another one. First Robotics is the name of that competition.
No, that's cool. He said his son was 11. I went down. So yeah, because we got to get kids started a little earlier in tech because everything's starting earlier and earlier. I mean, you can do it you later, but we all know the later you start, the harder it is. So
And I also think places like Amazon also has camps as well too. And I would check out like cybersecurity classes like CompTIA and SANS.org and the Linux Foundation. They all have some earlier classes for kids, especially around that age. Because some of these kids are getting certifications um,
but
at 15,
yeah,
right?
I think
Some
that's what
kids
we
are getting
should do.
certification at 15. So they already know how to, spin up something in the cloud and deploy something or whatnot. So, those are some of the events, and I posted some in the chat on some of the other things that I would be looking at as well too, from drones
Mm-hmm.
to the drone racing league. A few years back, there was a kid over in Dubai who was 15 years old that won the drone racing contest, and he won $1 million. And they come back every year to have these drone contests, right? So again, we're talking about kids that can get their drone certification, start working on construction, movies, the whole real estate, the whole nine, before they even graduate from high school. They can have a side business, just doing events and stuff like that. Parent take them out, make some money or what have you. You just never know.
Facts. Yeah. Keep Tech said his kids are doing the Roblox thing. He said you was on point with the gaming. So
Oh yeah, you know what? Used to have a old um classmate, and he was like a genius level intellect. Like he had like photographic memory, and he used to teach kids how to program in Minecraft, and That was his whole business. He made a lot of money off of teaching kids how to code in Minecraft. And I was like, you can code in Minecraft?
Yeah,
And
I
it was
think-
like,
Yeah, you can use I think it's Java for the server
Yep,
for
it's Java.
the server. Yeah.
I'm gonna. The C Rock said used to bridge a host on Halo to kick out the modders. I think he's
Yeah,
talking
that's
about
what,
you.
yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
had the bridge host. Yeah, that's crazy. I hadn't ran anybody who knew about that in a long time. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's OG
Shout out to
stuff.
Tam. Yeah,
Yeah.
Tam, tell him. Which I never thought about getting the kids in the ground. Look up the drone certifications in the league. She's putting all this in the chat for everybody.
Oh yeah,
Keep
and
saying- I'm sorry,
NSBE,
Gabe.
the-
Go ahead.
Oh no, I'm just gonna say this quickly. Like I know NSBE, so the National Society of Black Engineers, they have a NSBE Junior summer camp. I think it's called Stride. But they also have chapters all around the United States. So NSBE Junior, I think that's from like middle school all the way up through high school for the NSBE Junior chapters, and they do all types of competitions, all types of science projects, and everything. So that's another one too for kids. Not a book, but definitely a program the kids can get into.
We need to get them in the program so they can do something a little longer, hopefully with other people. Keep them more motivated so they don't go hoop as much. No, I'm just playing.
Listen, I lost him to the court, man. He
Class to the court.
I
Oh,
lost him
that's
to
what
it's
that's
a good
what the
exercise.
chick was talking about the other day. They got the was it I think was it autonomous basketball, Dion? Was it
Okay.
frisbee?
I did see in China they had a robot dribbling and he was like going
I'm
up
just
and down
about
the
to say
court.
that.
Oh, I saw that
Mhm.
too.
that what
I
you're talking
can't,
about?
I can't. No, it was. We had a guest speaker on the other day, and she was talking about kids are playing. Uh, it was drone. It was drone basketball. That's what it was. It was
Mhm.
drone basketball.
Okay.
Drone
And
basketball.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me find the link and I send it. I send it to you. I'm putting it in chat.
That's
No,
interesting.
fact.
I might
Yeah,
do
we'll
a
have to
video
check
on
that
that. I
out.
might do a
I
video
was
on
just
that.
about to. That sounds
Basketball.
right up Lou's alley.
That's right up
That's
my-
Lou
Who
all
can
the
do
way.
who can do it the quickest?
Yeah.
Tone all day said, less TV, more education for the kids. We'd be so tired after work. We got to make it fun for them. Remember when they're young, they're a reflection of us. Facts.
Right.
Facts.
And actually, you know what, Sam? I just realized that levels.fyi, they actually can you can book a recruiter so that you know
Yeah.
if you can how to negotiate for a higher offer.
Okay.
Yeah. They got that.
One. My man Royston said he thought Minecraft Roblox was the same thing. Now those are two different things, but I think there's so many things nowadays. So look back in the day, that was one of my favorite jams. Scratch is good for the kids. I don't know what that is. I'm going to Google them.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I learned
I know
something.
about, I know about Scratch, and
Go
the,
ahead.
the other one is the old. It used to be. Well, it still is. It's called Ali. So remember when Star Wars came out and they had the new. Is it not? Is it R2D2? What's the little one? R2D2 is the big one.
R2.
What's the little
CP
one?
No, the golden one is
CP8?
the small one is
CPA.
R2D2.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
big
CPA.
one is CPO or something like
No,
that.
Yeah,
BB8.
C3PO.
Yeah,
C3PO, that's it, yeah.
It's
you know what
all
I'm talking. You know what
I
I'm
know
talking
what you're
about.
talking about. Right.
They came out with a game that the Ali. I have one where you can control it on your phone, but you could take it and learn obstacle courses and whatnot. But Scratch is similar to that, where you can say, okay, well, here's the course, and then you have to navigate it through the course, but you have to program it to get it through the course, and Scratch allows you to do that.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
There's so
Yeah,
much
that's
out there.
okay.
And I think they had this thing for little kids called Stitch. So you can kind of like stitch stuff in there. I think those kids were like in the 4th and 5th grade using these little apps on their laptops. Let's see.
Man, I'm gonna have to cross that. I have to cross that path soon, man. We might be expecting soon. So I don't know yet. So that's not an announcement, but
Okay.
Oh man, for
I'm
real.
gonna have to
Oh
make these
wow.
considerations. You know, it's coming soon, definitely. So I'm gonna have
Congratulations.
to have
Man.
these.
Oh, congrats, man. That's what's up, dude.
I don't listen. We don't know yet, but
You
it's
know,
seeming
yeah.
Okay.
probable. That's all I'm saying. It's
Just
seeming
keep trying,
probable.
man. That's all advice I can keep trying, man. Keep trying.
Absolutely. We were waiting until she was finished with school because she just finished her master's in nursing anesthesia, and
Okay.
she just started working a couple of weeks ago. So, you know, as a result, we're like, all right, now that we got the schooling and everything out the way, let's go ahead and populate. Let's go ahead and populate
Facts,
the world.
facts, facts, facts,
Was
facts.
So
it speaking first?
yeah. We've been
Oh,
married
that
for
was awesome.
for 5 years.
Yeah.
We've been very patient. Yeah, we just
Yeah, shout
celebrated
out
the
to
fifth.
shout out to Gabe for doing it the right way. I did it the wrong way. Shout out to Gabe.
Man, they come into the world. It's good up there. So but yeah, we were talking about this homeschooling and
Okay.
all of that stuff. So we kind of think about everything, man. Yeah, think about
You
it
gotta
all.
start making videos about it, man.
Maybe
You should,
maybe
man,
like keep
because
it techie. Keep it techie. Have his kids in videos too. So I might.
facts, facts.
Yeah, I
Because
might take a.
homeschooling is a big, as a is a decision, a big
Yeah.
decision. So,
And it's crazy because we're starting to work from home, right? A lot of people are starting to work from home,
oh,
so
true.
a lot of that is becoming way more possible than it was before. But that's a whole different subject.
Yeah, you
No,
got to
For
pay
another
for
time. You're gonna have to chop this
daycare.
up. It's a lot of game here. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it is a lot of game. Yeah.
Facts. So let's see. So once again, I think we were kind of wrapping it up. Is
I wanted to ask you guys, everybody here on the panel, just before we get out of here,
yeah,
which
go ahead.
what are the best ways for you guys to find tech work? Is it Dice? Is it Indeed? Is it LinkedIn?
I'm gonna
What
do a video, and
things?
I'm inviting you on that video because we talked about it. Because you got me thinking digital nomad. What I do is two things: is if you do Indeed with remote, and I go, which is this is a hard way to do it. I'll go on Upworks and bid against the world. So I was gonna do a video on that and invite you and show you how I do bids on Upworks to get certain
Okay.
work at certain value. Because you brought up a digital nomad, but I throw that to Tim. She might have a better way to do it, but I was going to do a video and invite you on that because we were talking about the digital nomad. So I get on Upwork and bid against the world for work, which was a lot harder than I thought it was when I first started. That's my 2 cents on it. Okay.
Mine is so for me, government contracting it's really a matter of a word of mouth. I use Indeed as well because Indeed has contract work. Top Towel is another one. You can also when the contractors or not contractors when the recruiters get in touch with you, ask them do they have 1099 work instead of W-2 work. And then if they don't have 1099 work, ask them do they have any other companies that they work with, right? So that's those some of the three, and then the other one for me is really word of mouth because people just hit me up on LinkedIn and they ask me, do I want to do some work? Like, oh, you want to write a course curriculum or something like that? Anybody who sells courses is 1099 work. So if you want to go work for sans.org, Coursera, CompTIA, or whatnot, those are places that have 1099 work. So you don't have to go look for the work. You can just say, hey, I'm willing to do a course. Here's my rates. What do you need course content on? And then go from there.
Yeah, of course, development is huge.
Yeah, I mean, you got the one guy that was in that did the cybersecurity courses and made $1 million. You got people making hand over fist on courses. It's just a matter of time, right?
Yeah,
It's
fast.
time that you got to put into that.
So I think I'm gonna do me insurance course. Did you do an insurance course here, Tim?
My information assurance course.
Yeah, you got one.
Nah, I didn't. I did my master's in
Right, I
information
know that.
assurance.
But I know if you threw a course together and start selling it.
Nah. You know what, man? For me, because of working and studying
Facts.
and then putting together the content and then teaching on Wednesdays and all. I mean, by the time I get a chance to put a course together, this is the course. Me doing
No.
lives is the course.
Facts. Teaching be wearing me out, so I don't know.
I got a
I
question,
think,
man.
yeah.
So if you go 1099 contractor, it means you miss out on a lot of the benefits like health. Oh, you don't. Oh, you don't.
No, you do. You just build that into your price so you can go out and buy it on your own.
Okay, so then I was
Chime
going
in,
to ask
Tam.
a question about. I was about to ask a question about investing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you miss out on that 401k match.
I build that in my price. You make because
Okay.
you know your company's building that. So I'm gonna let Tam chime in. For me, when I do it, that's my rates. That's why my rate seems extremely high because I'm building all that into the rates for my 1099. So I'm not missing out. Those are the rates. So the extra 15% your business pay, that's in my price. My
Well, B2B,
401k is in my
yeah.
price. Go ahead,
Well, I
Gabe.
see what B2B is saying because
I do.
there's typically like a matching. So you contribute up to a certain amount, typically like a 4 to 6%, maybe higher. And then the organization that you work for contributes an additional that, right, matching. So I think you do miss out on some things when you go contracting because I don't know if you like putting in a whole 12% on top of your full compensation. Is that how y'all doing
Yes.
it?
We're gonna talk about numbers so that we can be clear, right? So let's talk about numbers. So when I'm thinking contracting, you know, I'm thinking in a range. I'm not doing nothing less than 175, right? So 175 an hour, right? And so then depending on the type of work and how long and what I have to do, sometimes the rate may be $300 an hour. So when we're talking about rates like that, and my rates are low compared to some of my other firm rates. Some of my other firm rates, they're at 500. Some of them don't even contract on that rate. They contract by like this is going to be $100,000 for us to do this for the next 4 months.
Right.
So it depends on who you talk to. So when you're talking about, okay, I'm factoring in my PTO when I want to take off my sick day, or when I want to take off, or I want to take off a week and go to a class. I'm factoring all those things in, right? I have a number that I need to hit because I know what I want to have. I know I want to have the flexibility or the option to have the flexibility to do something. So that's just something you have to consider. The other thing is start talking about tax shelters. So now you have to again look at yourself as a business, right? So now you can go in as a business and start paying yourself as a business and as an employee of that business. So you could be a tax shelter twice. So now you have to look at yourself from that perspective. And we probably have to do a whole show on that. But there's
Right.
just certain things that you need to look at when you're saying, hey, I'm going in as 1099. Are you going in 1099 under your name, or are you going in 1099 as an employer of a business and you are the employee?
Facts, man. And two is like what Tim said is it's called a clean. I had connections. They told me what they were paying Accenture $250 an hour. They told me what they were paying Oracle. Like Tim said, $300 an hour. It's like Tim said, when I say I was coming in at 175, I was undercutting, but hell, I ain't never seen money like that before because like Tim said, we know what those dollar rates are. And that's one reason I started teaching is before Obama changed the healthcare. I worked at a large local university. You teach 2 classes, they gave you healthcare. That's one reason I started teaching at night because they used to give you healthcare on that. So as you get in business, like Tim said, or you talk to Tim, me, or Gay, we know those numbers, so we can tell you what to charge. So hopefully you're not missing out on any of those things like 401k matches. Because when Accenture comes in, Oracle comes in, they charging 350 and they paying the other person 150. So they making $150 an hour profit. On top of that, you might just need 50 and not the whole 150. Tam want to say 500. I almost blacked out. I got to get my numbers up. I'm shortchanging myself, but like Tam said, that's a different video and a different conversation. Go ahead, Gabe. I think you were in there too, man.
No, I don't have anything to add.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna kind of add something else. It's gonna sound messed up, but this has more to do with like confidence. Because I'm thinking like
Facts. You scared. You scared. Don't be scared.
I'm just saying because I made a whole video about that, but about the just hearing that number of 500,000, 300,000. I was sitting here like, man, am I even providing that much value? You know what I mean? That's how I was feeling.
I'm
But
gonna let Tim. I'm gonna let Tim.
I mean, you got to be
work for
real
people
though.
I work for people that work for Oracle that was charging the government that they were shit. They wasn't even good. Go ahead, Gabe. For me,
I
they
was gonna
wasn't
say,
good.
I was gonna say, I don't know, and this might be some pushback here, but I think you still got to kind of account for if you're able to deliver on that particular role. Like you can't just. I don't think it's intelligent to just kind of just throw out the highest possible number that you could think of, but kind of be realistic, right? What is this role? How am I able to deliver on the needs of this, and how am I able to add to the business? So
Yeah, but you also looking at it from like you doing all the work too. You also again looking at yourself as a business. Take part of that money that you're making and contract out and say, hey, I got 20 hours for you a week to do X, Y, and Z. And so you maybe now you pay somebody else to do something if you're able to, depending on the contract. So you have to remember you don't have to do all the work. You may be a sub to a sub and hire a sub. Like you just never know. Don't always look at yourself as you're the only one delivering to the
so
contract. You may have someone that delivers to you. You may check their work and then go from there. It
so I
depends
think
on
specifically
the
what
relationship.
you're talking about is government contracting.
No, I'm not talking about government contracting. I'm just talking about contracting, period.
Well, sub to a sub to a sub, you that structure isn't common within like just the commercial.
Yeah, it is. Oh, yeah, it
Mm,
is.
I,
And it,
okay,
it ain't even
fair.
it ain't even government contracting. I have people contact me and say, hey, I don't have time to do this portion of the work. Do you mind doing the security portion of this work? And it is not government contracting. These are just commercial companies that somebody had, hey, I got this work. I'm not gonna have time. Do you have time? What's your rate? Cool, here you go. Let's
Uh,
meet once a week on X, Y, and Z. But again,
I
that's
don't know, Sam.
relationships.
I know
I'm
it's
only
about
saying.
relationships, but
I,
think about it, right? An organization has contracted you to do the work, but so do you talk to that original organization? Talk about you bringing some additional people in?
You
Do
yeah,
you
you can
provide?
yeah, you can include all of that. But that's in your write up, right? That's in your negotiation of that.
Okay.
You can include that in there.
but
I'm
doesn't
like,
that open up the risk though? Because you're contracting out other
yeah.
employees.
It again,
I
it depends on how you're gonna set that up.
Tam, I don't know because let me tell you what I've heard about that. They call that bait and switch. Like they use one
I've
organization
seen
or
that.
one group of people to be able to get the work, and then they switch it to other people to execute on the work when you
And they
That's
least
do
up.
expect it.
and they do it all the time.
So
Yeah,
that
I like what you talk. I like
okay.
what Tam talking about. I like what
I
No,
know
but
they do it all the
I like what
time,
Look,
Tam.
but
and they do
okay.
it all the
I like
time. We
I
I,
don't.
hear it. I hear
I,
you.
Again, that's why we don't get paid.
Well, see, but
no,
that's the thing, right? Building.
Hey, let's put it
I'm
like
sorry.
this. Let's
I'm
put it
sorry.
like this. How many times have you heard Lato say, "Hey, we won this $5 billion contract"?
Yep.
Then what Latos do? Latos go get a smaller company to handle a piece of that contract. And what does that contract do? What does that smaller contract do? They go get another company to handle a smaller piece of that contract.
that's true.
And then what do the other company do? They go find some people to do the work. It's the same thing.
Right.
States do it, counties do it, they all do it. We the only ones sitting up here talking about, well, I don't know.
We
It
talk about
might,
Lido. We're
it
talking about
might
government
not.
contracting again, right? You talk about defense contracting.
I'm not
Like
talking about defense contractor. I'm just talking about in period. I'm just talking
Lido.
period. Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
talking period. You look at Leidos as a defense contractor, but Leidos has a commercial side too.
No,
They
but
don't. They're just not all defense.
okay. So, okay. Um, I'll let you go.
Well,
You
no,
know,
I mean, I did it
I
with
don't
the
agree,
state.
but that's cool.
I just did work with the state of Tennessee. Let me tell you what they did. The state of Tennessee was
Public
moving their
sector.
stuff to the cloud. Who did the state of Tennessee hire? They hired five different companies, including
Okay.
AWS and Azure. What did
That's
Azure?
public sector.
eh,
That's government, right?
But again, that's not a federal contract. That's a state contract.
But it's still
Right.
government. So that's what I'm saying. Like that's
But it
common
but
within government environments. Sub to
but
sub to sub.
what
Yeah.
but again, sub to sub to sub. What difference do it make to you? You getting paid to do the work.
Because building those business relationships, they want to have confidence that the people that they bring in are the people who are going to execute on the work. Unless you
No,
submit
they
for,
no, they want to have confidence that they're gonna hire the people that's gonna do the work. They may look. I
I
see
work a
people be
consultant. I'm telling you,
listen. I do
it's a
too.
bad look. It's a bad look.
It's not a bad look. People do
Okay.
it all the time.
I
Yeah, and
think
they get a
I think
bad look for doing it. I'm
I
sorry. Go
think y'all
ahead.
saying the same thing because I've seen both of them because I seen where Gabe is, and I actually had somebody do that to me. I interviewed they like me. They wrote in the contract my name in there because they wanted me to show up to work, so they
To
wouldn't
win the
make
Exactly.
work.
made them switch them. But like Tim, when I worked for Lockheed Martin. True story. I go to meet the 4-star general because they usually have generals to get work. I go in there. His office is little as shit. I go, man, where are the programs? He goes, oh, we win $100 million, then we sub it out.
Yes.
we
And that's
sub it
what I'm
all out.
saying. It depends on the work. But
Fact
what you talk,
is,
Gabe, what you talking about when people are talking about, hey, I'm doing I'm the one that's gonna do the work as a consultancy. I'm doing it. Some people do it. Some people say, hey, as a business entity, I have these people on my team. We're going to do that work. It depends. But we
I
can't
agree.
go in.
It depends.
We can't go in.
uh,
We can't go in with the mindset of I'm gonna all the work the whole time. We got to look again. You got to look at yourself as a business on how you gonna do that.
The way I see it, because a lot of times I do submit for like RFIs and
fact. Mhm,
request for information, request for
mhm,
proposals, and in these we literally submit the profiles of individuals who are going to be performing the work. Now, if
fact.
those same people are not the same people that's executing on the work, I've seen it where organizations are like, whoa, like this, they just baited. Like Big Four is greatly
Right,
known for that. They'll bring
right,
in the top experts, right? Deloitte would say, hey, these are the experts that we're going to put on this. These are the SMEs that will be consulting on this. And all of a sudden they put an entry level security analyst on the role. And then they're just completely like, this is like an entry level thing.
right.
And they're like, yo,
But
we weren't expecting this, right? We
right,
actually have, so I work for Accenture. We actually have
right,
one businesses because Big Four bait and switches. And I
right,
think it
fact.
does kind of create a precedence of kind of, I guess, dishonest business.
Now,
I
do
Oh
won't
you
call
man,
it
guys
dishonest. I won't
man,
call it
Accenture do
dishonest,
It's
this.
Gabe.
dishonest. If you submit great
Accenture does
people,
the same thing.
that's not what I
what do you
do.
Well,
mean by one businesses? What, do they just acquire the business or something like that because of it?
say that again,
Who's
B2B.
that? Yeah.
Gabe, you were
Uh-huh.
saying something about like the big four, like they won a business.
Mm-hmm,
What do you
So
mean by
so a
that?
Big Four will win like a contract, right? So they
mm-hmm,
win a particular. So you submit for a contract. You submit like in the form of a proposal. The
mm-hmm.
organization. So it's typically right B2B, right, business to business type of
Right.
contracts.
Facts,
And what
facts.
happens is that they'll say, "Oh, these are the people. These are the experts that will be solving your most difficult problems."
Right,
And then all of a sudden, you get some entry level people right out of college
right,
that they brought in in their
right,
consulting
right.
practice in order to be there on site, brand new, fresh, and they can't
Right.
really right
They
get to
suck.
the answers. Yeah, they
Right.
suck in
But
comparison to the
Gabe,
people they submitted.
yeah, but I think the middle ground I see a lot of people do is we want these 4 practice managers, right? Then they can bring people underneath them, right? So those 4 that get written in, but hell, it's 50 people underneath them that they can move in and out, though, right?
Man, I've seen it. I've done RFPs where we've submitted every single person that'll be
Oh,
on there.
facts. I've seen them. I've
Yeah,
seen them, but I've seen them the other way too. Go ahead, Tim.
yeah, but just because you submitted to people don't necessarily mean that those people are gonna be around and available for when that contract is available.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. So, like, if
Oh,
let's say
we
for the hell
cancel
of it,
contracts for that though, Tim. I've seen contract
Exactly.
scalpels for that.
I've
Go
With
seen
ahead.
that.
Go ahead,
you've
Lou.
seen them get canceled and you've seen them stay. It's all about
Facts.
relationships at that point.
Facts. 100%.
I'm
Go
gonna,
ahead. Go ahead.
I
Go
was gonna
ahead.
throw my head like, so let's say I outsourced it on somebody on Fiverr to, I don't know, just whatever, do some scripting or whatever. If I turn it in and I submit it, like, how would they know? You know, like, I don't. I gotta see what Tam is saying. Like, how would they know if I'm the one
They-
who signed off?
They don't know, and people do it all the time on government contracts. They do it all the time on smaller contracts. They do it all the time.
I think that's different, Lou.
I'm
Go
not
ahead.
saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying there are people that sub to a sub to a sub, and
I think
it's
it depends
across
on
the
the
board.
client. I think it depends on the client. I've seen people
Same.
gateway, but I've seen people do what you doing, Tim. I think it depends on the client. Like you said, the negotiation and your reputation between you and the client too, right?
Yeah,
But I
it
will give
depends
a
on
shout
how
out to
you
Master
how you
IT with
write
the
that
super
up.
chat.
So Lou,
It's-
kind of what you,
and I know
Yeah,
you
go
work
ahead,
for Accenture, and I know they sub to a sub all the time.
we include
Because
them. Part of our
you might
we do these
inc-
long. Let me tell you, we do these. I mean, you're talking about. I mean, I've seen some. I had maybe 20 pages of 120 page RFP where we're submitting profiles. We're submitting
yeah
detailed statements of
you're
work.
sending the cap statement, submitting the profiles, you're submitting what portion of the work they're going to work on,
All that
and
scheduling, timing, pricing.
and let me tell you what ends up happening, because I write them too. I write the proposals too. Then it's like, oh, can your people handle this? Yes. Oh, okay. Well, let's get some more. Let's make sure they can do X, Y, and Z. Let's interview them. Let's
Right.
meet up with everybody. Okay, cool. All right. So these people, we can write them into the contract. Let's get their profiles and so forth. But if X, Y, and Z comes up, and two of those people go off and go do some other work, they looking at you still to fulfill what you said you was gonna do. So you gotta go find the people.
Well, that's when it comes to so that's where that transparency, that business transparency piece comes, because then you have a roll off of certain resources for projects, but then you have to bring other resources in, but you provide who's rolling off and who's rolling on to the program. And then what we do is that we do like contract revisions where those new individuals are included. So again, I think that there needs to be transparency in that.
I didn't say it wasn't transparency.
Mhm.
I'm just saying you still subcontract that work out. I'm not saying it's not transparency. I'm saying you still subcontract that work out. And sometimes it may not even be a full-blown entity. It may just be a person that you bring in that's an Oracle expert, and you just bringing that person in to do that work for 6 weeks, and then off they go.
All right.
Yeah, come
I'll
on
leave it
up,
there.
keep it techie.
I ain't
Come on
gonna
up.
belabor the point, but
I mean,
I've seen it
I
both
get
ways.
what you're saying.
I get what you're saying too. I get what you're saying too, for sure.
I've seen it both ways. I've seen it both ways though. Because like Gabe, I was on a large state agency that been burnt. They want everybody's name on there. So if you take anybody out, they void in the contract. You got to come talk to them. So
yeah.
But I see them like Tim too, where when I work for Lockheed, they don't have any. Lockheed didn't even have any They subbed all that out, and the client expect them to manage the subs and manage
exactly.
Yeah.
So that was in their thing. They said, we hired Lockheed expertise. We expect you to manage the project, meaning the subs, if any of the subs mess up, we choking Lockheed. That's what we coming for. So that's the way I've seen them done both ways.
And
so
what
this
happens
type of
if somebody quit?
Yeah.
What happens if somebody quits? Like,
ooh, that look bad. That look bad, but that'll be a roll on type of thing, right? You'll find like, a resource to replace them.
Yeah, but what like Gabe said, when I work for a sub, we usually bring our top guy in. When that person rolls out, we're gonna give you somebody extra good for about 3 or 4 months before we take them away. So you can't complain, because this person's gonna be so good. They're gonna be leading the meetings. They're gonna be doing this new technique you never seen. Because we're gonna give you somebody, because you can't complain. But in about 4 months, we're gonna ease them off and slide somebody like Tam said. We're gonna replace, but we're gonna give you somebody super good so you can't complain. We're gonna welcome my man Keep It Techie. Shout out to Keep It Techie coming up late.
What's up, man?
What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing?
I'm enjoying Tim and Gabe keeping it respectful, going at it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Got to all time.
Go ahead, keep
except when I'm in the black manosphere. I get dirty over there, but here you gotta stay respectful.
Oh, I'm gonna have to follow you so I can bomb you. I'm gonna have to follow you.
Come on, let's go.
Go ahead,
keep it. Tam come with them big face hunters.
Nah, I had to come up though because of what y'all was talking about. I mean, I do have. I see what you're saying, Tam, but I do have concerns with that as well. Like when it comes to I don't know, subcontracting, and maybe that's why I haven't got into it and done it. But wouldn't that bring security concerns at a certain point?
Well,
Depending on what I'm sorry, go ahead.
yeah, I mean it's gonna bring security concerns, but I'm not saying go take this work and go hire somebody in India that you don't know.
Yeah, because they can write whatever they want in the code. That's what I was.
I'm not talking about that. Let's be realistic, right?
Okay, all right. Well, I'm crazy.
You know what I mean? Let's be realistic. I'm talking about, hey, keep it techie. I got this contract work to do some DevSecOps, and they need some cloud engineering, and they need a database person, right, on this contract. Yo, can you do that work? I'm gonna shoot you over this list of requirements of what they're looking to do, and how much time you think it's gonna take you, and how much an hour do you think you gonna need to do this work? Let me know.
And let's be real. Keep it techie got a security clearance, so who's gonna be more security? Keep it techie, right? So.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm the last person to tell you to go on Upwork and go find somebody. That ain't what I'm talking about.
Hey, ease up, man. I'm on Upwork.
I was taking it
up.
I guess I was taking it to that low level. I don't know when it comes to, because I've heard people say things like that. Oh, you could just. I've heard somebody even recommend that people should do that, like for Upwork, like contracts and stuff, and then sub it out to some random person. I'm like, that's especially if you're working on code or something. You don't know what these people are writing in this code, and your name is behind this,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
And what I'm simply saying, there are people that do that.
Yeah,
there are literally people that do that. That's not what I'm saying.
Okay, I got you.
I think a lot of times, and I think government contracting is a little bit different, but like on the commercial side, a lot of times when you bring in those subs to subs, it's that requires a bit more of managerial and project management overhead, because this new organization that you're subbing to, there has to be some checks and balances. You have to make sure that their work is consistent with the level and the quality of effort on that subs and that second subs type of work. So it can become messy really quickly. Now, Tim, I hear what you're saying. Like, you're bringing in an individual resource, it becomes a bit easier, especially if you have a previous working rapport with that resource. That's a little bit different. When you bring in whole organizations, it can get messy, especially from the project management and program management side.
I'm gonna disagree with a little bit with that what you gave, and I think you made the statement is, I work for a smaller one called Mosier. They have relationships with Lockheed Martin and those big ones. We all getting background checks. I got an FBI background check. So they know that company's set up to do that sub type work. They know we do government work. They know we got FBI background checks. So they know which subs can do that type of work. And those people are already approved, right? They have those working relationships. They know, like we talked about, I'm going to manage the sub and the sub's going to manage his subs, right? But that company's already been approved to do government work. Go ahead.
So I don't have an issue with the approvals, but I'm talking about the consistency of work, right? So you talk about deliverables at that point, right? So you're writing reports, you're doing certain work. Yeah, go ahead.
They work, but like I said, I work for a small company. We work with these big companies all the time, so they familiar with that sub's work, so they trust that sub.
Okay,
right? Because they partner with, and let's be honest, there's that MBE work. So there's certain minority companies that those big companies know they're gonna get those MBE points for that in those MBE firms. They use the same MBE firms because they do work with that. Let me invite my man Tone all day up. Let him go in. Absolutely. Brother, you coming up late, man. We dozing off. What you got?
I'm
on. What you got?
I know it's not 12:30. That's crazy. I had no idea. Go ahead.
And the conversation good.
Tone all day. What you got for us, bro? You got anything? Can y'all hear me? Tone all day?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Is he frozen?
Tone out there, you got to come down and come back up, man.
No, what I was gonna say was the other part of this is too. Let me give you an example. So we're getting ready to go through a SOC 2 compliance. Right. We reach out to a company to do SOC 2 compliance. They're like, hey, we don't do the pen testing part. Right. We hire other people to do pen testing. And here's a list of 10 people, and based upon prices that we use. for pen testing. So we right. We went with one company, but now this company is referring us to some other people.
Facts.
I've been on those too. So I used to work for Mandiant, right? So like they used to bring us in all the time to do the pen testing or the IR work.
But here we're not.
Hold on, Toto. They give you freezing on and off.
I just want to before. No. All right.
Okay. Chime in.
It's like you could just build cleaning, right? Be nothing complex, because I know y'all tech guys. It don't even need to be complex. It could be something simple like cleaning or supplying plastic gloves, for surgical techs. As long as you say, I could do this, and you go to a surgical company and you can supply them for that amount of thing, that right there alone is subcontracting. Do you have surgical gloves in your garage? No, but you know where to get them at. So
Facts.
I'm trying to make it simple because y'all making it complex.
We always make it complex, Tone, all day. That's what we do up here, bro.
I understand that. I understand that, but I want to get the game because I'm still learning this software development stuff, and I'm like, I already know about this stuff. For y'all people to be so smart, I'm like, wow, government contracts are so easy.
Well, the thing about it is that it's so like, I think we're speaking from experience, right? And I think that's one thing, right? It's like, how do I say it? Like, I think a lot of times we don't really get this level of visibility into these type, like how these contracts are submitted or what type of business structure there is and what type of bidding there is. So it can get complex, man. Like I don't want to just make like it's just,
because Tone, like he said, is the only difference is like a gloves is a club, but when you deal with a person, there's got to be background checks. Like you said, a lot of times, like Gabe says, they want you to have a level of certifications. It's called 8570. You got to have a certain cert or a certain degree at a certain time. So we understand.
But still, if that's the case, though, all right, let me give you that, right? Because once again, you're digging too deep into it, right? If you're working for the government, you got to get a security clearance, right?
Facts.
Y'all do cybersecurity, right? Don't y'all got to get clearances?
Facts, 100%.
So if I say I got 5 truck drivers, 3 of them never been arrested, 2 been locked up for drugs.
Right.
They gonna tell me to find 2 other people.
Right, but they're true, but you gotta.
They not allowed to do that.
Right, but 2 is
how hard it is for me to find two truck drivers that never been locked up for selling drugs before. That's what I'm saying. Y'all making it difficult. Just find 2 truck drivers.
Yeah, but we gonna give you some game tone all day. But even in the clearance part, there's top secret. I had a dude had to take a polygraph. There's 4 levels of security.
3 levels of security. It's 3 levels of security clearance. I understand that. But once again, if 3 was able to be top tier 1, right, and 2 couldn't be what they looking for, that's what you do as a contractor. Be like, look, what's your criminal record? You spend that $70. You do it yourself if you want to. You don't gotta get to the government.
No,
you got a government contract.
Man. Like it's like you already got the answer for it. So I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I'm
saying you got a government.
Right, but
you got a government contract. You got a government contract. You got five truck drivers times 70 by 5. You can't spend $350 to have a contract that's going to be continuous for a year, guaranteed truck money. That's how come these landlords let Section 8 girls into the house. It's guaranteed government money.
Facts, but like Tam said though, is you got to have a relationship sometime to get those government contracts. And all government contracts aren't equal. Like you said, Section 8. Like Gabe said, is I worked on contracts where they wrote my name in there. They couldn't sub me out.
It's all about doing good business because for real, if you win in the bid, you're winning the bid.
IT is a little different though.
Yeah,
IT is a little different.
A little different, Tone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I know on the trucking standpoint, trucking standpoint, you got the MC number, they run all your stuff, and then they be like, okay, he don't have a crash record. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They run all that stuff. Welcome to the team. IT, I don't know, but it's like government. I don't know about security, but security, you dealing with the government.
No, man. Security ain't security, Tone. That's what we try to tell you. Security is not security. That's what we try to tell you. Each contract's a little different.
Listen. I know people. If you get locked up for selling drugs as a juvenile, you can get a job. It ain't a felony as you an adult, but you can't get a security clearance if you got locked up for selling drugs as a kid.
Facts,
when you was
100%.
a juvie.
Facts, 100%. We agree with you.
Yeah. So when I'm saying like security 1, security 2, security 3, I know the levels of this stuff.
Well, if you know it, then why? Like, what's the purpose of coming up and telling us that we like?
No, what I'm saying is the lady right here is putting y'all on game.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? She putting y'all on game, and that's like it be irking me when I be trying to tell my homies, right? When they get out of jail and they be like, all I can do is work at Taco Bell. Get your CDL license. No, man, I think Target is hiring. That's what you want to do? All right, you do it. I told you, get a CDL license. Unless you've been locked up for murder, you can have murder is a no-no, but you can get locked up for being caught with a gun. As long as you ain't do espionage or play with no kids, you can get a CDL license and be out.
Facts.
But people get out of jail so much, and they be hearing them jail niggas like, oh man.
Nah, but Tone, bro.
I'm gonna have to lace my boots up. No, Tone. You get a joint and you can win.
Nah, Tone, we get it though. I mean, we not going against what Tim is saying. We was just bringing up the other parts to it and just trying to see exactly what it was. It wasn't like we were going against what she was saying, because I know a lot of people that are actually doing this type of contract work as well on the government side. Like I've seen it. I work for a business where I got hired on a main contract, or not a main contract, but I got hired on a contract. But they had 2 other people that were working there, and they were working under a business that they owned. So, I mean, I've seen it. We've seen it. You know what I'm saying? It was just, it wasn't that we wasn't going against the game she was providing. We was just making conversation based on, what she was throwing out there. That's how it was.
Different levels.
And mind, it ain't me versus her versus y'all. Like, we all here. You know what I mean? But see, that's one of the things that aggravate me about black folks. That's just me. I'm from Philadelphia, and black folks do that shit all the time. You could be like, hey, go $1 million. But unless they hearing rap or entertainment, you killing me. You know what I'm saying? It burns me up. It's like you can get $1 million contracts, and it's like when people hear about wholesaling real estate. You find an address, you get the contract, you pass the contract off, you walk away with 10 grand. Money do get made like that. And that's basically what a government contract is.
Right. We were just talking about the nuances, though, bro. You 100% right. Tam was setting it up, and we was like, Gabe said,
no. Y'all was cool for the first 5 minutes of nuances. But when it started getting 10 on up, I'm like, these guys.
You just stop understanding. That's okay. I mean, I understand if you don't get it, but we just up here having a conversation. So
no.
Nobody's
I
going to
appreciate
get
the conversation. But what I'm saying is,
done something.
No. But how I'm thinking is this, right? All right. I got my pen and my pad. I'm writing down all the game that I'm hearing about this tech stuff, because all I know is JavaScript. You know what I mean? S.T.E.M, CSS, and JavaScript.
Rust.
So I'm hearing about, but hear what I'm saying. I'm learning stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, all right, how long we going to be? It's like, if the conversation get off of tech, which this is supposed to be, right? And then it start talking about men versus females, men versus Mars. this ain't supposed to be that. Like, this conversation ain't supposed to be dwelling on government contracts and what could be wrong with them.
Who was talking about men versus?
No, I ain't talking about men versus. I'm using the scenario. I'm saying, if y'all dwelling on this is the way government contracts can't work, I put the link in the joint. Small Business Association government contracts. Do your research if it's that deep. I'm trying to get game.
So I think you should pick up the game that you think is valuable and drop the game that you don't think is valuable, right? What's wrong with that?
You don't get it. One thing about me,
eat the meat.
And I'm sorry.
I mean,
I wish, and much respect to all, and it's no disrespect. One thing is like, I'm not a political guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, if you give me the game, if it makes sense to me, I'm gonna take it in, or I'm not even gonna bother to fight the June and say it don't make sense. That's me.
But isn't that what you're doing? Like, you came up here. all right.
No,
I ain't gonna blow the
I'm just saying. Let's get back to the. I'm saying. All right. Let's get back to the topic of conversation, because she was giving out some real game, and we paused the game for this.
Right, but we
come on now.
Yeah, but we want to make sure she's always amicable. We all had different scenarios, so we asking questions because we all worked in government, Tom. So our government game, we were giving her to make sure, she was giving us game. We all worked on government contracts, so we were, just like Gabe said, we was chopping it up from our point of view, from our government jobs, because once again, I worked in government. We got to put our names on a contract. They're not going to let you switch them out unless you got to come on with a real good reason. So Tam was responding to that. Gabe works at a large company, so he said how the game works out for his large company. Because each government contract's not the same, Tone. So everybody was putting their
no,
Tam was going through the scenario.
And Professor Ops, like, you my OG. I don't want to get into detail with you. You know what I mean? Because you took me in. You taught me a bunch of things. But what I'm just saying is, all right, basically, the back and forth be irritating. I'm like, it's a bunch of men and one female. Let's get back to talk. Let's learn.
We're not jumping on Tam. We're not jumping on Tam, man. Tam's a big girl. She know we're not jumping on Tam.
No, I ain't saying y'all jumping on her. I'm talking about y'all jumping the whole, like, let's get back into the lessons. You know what I mean? You know I'm somewhat of a rookie.
Facts. This is the contract lesson, though.
We chopping it up. Let me say this too.
I gotta get out of my ways.
I'll say this.
All it was about subcontracting. It's like, if you scared of subcontract, don't bother with the government contract. And do your own research and learn more. That's all.
Right.
I'm resisting.
So I was just saying that I was learning a lot from this, I had never heard any of these things. So even though, because I already know tech, so even if I know, Tony, you're trying to learn more about tech, I never knew anything about subcontracting. That's why I asked about contracting earlier, because I'm a contractor. So it was from me talking about being a contractor that led into this conversation. So it's not,
But hear what I'm saying. And if I know this, y'all should know this. It's contracting, and not to cut you off, brother Billions. What I'm saying is, if you worried about government stuff, it's companies that have contracts that don't have nothing to do with the government.
Yeah, but it's people out here that have never worked a government contract at all within the tech field. They've just worked positions in the tech field. People don't have the experience you have with working with other companies and contracts like that. Some people have started out and working help desks, and they just trying to get an overall general understanding of how it actually works. So we were just adding to the conversation. We weren't pushing against what Tam was putting out there. We were just adding to the conversation based on our anecdotal things that we went through,
the stuff that while
working in tech. Yeah, we all tech. She She's
So
done things that I haven't done. I've done things she may have not done. You know what I'm saying? So it was all just adding to the conversation. I mean, this is the type of conversation we always have.
And that was
No,
you know
I
what I'm saying?
apologize.
It's not.
It was
I
for B2B.
apologize.
No, you good.
No,
You good, bro.
hear me out. I apologize. It was just I just heard like you know, it's like I just heard subcontracting too much, and I'm like, it's like when some people just keep on saying, it's like, how do I get from Philadelphia to Chicago? 76 I-90, you there? How? 76 I-90, you there? How? So you
know, see,
like fuck you asking me again for? That's how I be.
Nah, facts. But there was some nuances in there, though, man. I think that you might have missed that B2B was trying to get. So I feel
my fault.
You.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, I'm an East Coast.
Nah, you cool.
Myself, you know, continue on.
That's good.
Like I'm up
here.
Nah,
you good. You good. You know, you always love up here.
No, and that's why I mess with y'all. That's how come every like if I go to any one of y'all platforms, I always say what's up. I always show love. But it was just like I'm like I'm talking to some smart people.
There was some little nuances. Yeah, it's all good. Ain't nothing but love. So
I posted links to some jobs that people are hiring for. I actually got some workshops coming up for these jobs that are paying $200,000 to $1 million on blockchain development, learning Rust and Solidity. Get your resume together. I'll let you know when it drops. But I dropped the links in your chat. So
that's cool.
if somebody hits the replay, you can go and click on the link. I did it just for you.
PBL for me.
Yeah, I did that for you. So that way, instead of you eating steak, you own the cows on the farm.
No, I'm gonna get the whole farm with the milk. Yeah. I appreciate that. I need to go on a diet, but I appreciate you.
It's all right though, but as long as you eating grass fed, you good.
Facts. You know, I'm trying. I think Keep It Tech put something in there too. So shout out to everybody for contributing too. But so I'm trying to figure out. But yeah, shout out to my man. So what?
No, I was dropping TAM links. That's
you dropped
she
TAM
put in the back. Yeah.
Oh, my fault. I didn't see
chat to see because she need to get a wrench over here, man.
She ain't got no wrench.
TAM got she got the she got the info she be putting out. So I was just trying to help out by
good looking out. I thought she put that in there. Keep it.
I did put it in there.
In the back.
I did.
She put
it I'm sorry. I thought she put it in the front.
I did. I put them in both of them.
I'm gonna give you a wrench. I thought you had a wrench.
I done stepped up my game, y'all. Congratulations to me.
Yeah, shout out.
Are you familiar with that organization?
Like
what's
the X4 Technologies?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the one guy it's a guy. His name is Joe, and I'm gonna slaughter his last name, so I'm not gonna say it. And then the other one is Maxine. So X4 Technologies is pretty much like any other contracting company. They help you find jobs, but they got different umbrellas. Like they have blockchain, they got DevSecOps, they got if you want to work on autonomous cars, they got a range of positions from different industries. The people that I'm working with over there for this blockchain development, he was like, look, we just can't find any black people.
No, ain't I only know one. That's you. Engineering cannabis, the only one I know even touching blockchain.
Yeah, he's like, we can't find him, and he was like, so I had him on the show. It's a whole show on my YouTube channel talking about what they're looking for. Like one of the jobs was like, if you understood Rust and blockchain and had made a smart contract and only had 6 months of experience, they was hiring at $300,000. The other one was a blockchain leader.
Start learning blockchain.
Yeah, one was a blockchain leader starting at $1 million, and that was only with a year of experience. So in my group on Sundays, we get together and we study Rust on Sunday. So we're going through and learning Rust.
What time?
We're going through 4 o'clock.
Oh, that's cool. I'm starting at 3. I'm in at 4, and I'm jumping on yours.
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
trying to get out.
So that's what we started doing because I was like, because I'm one of the people like, oh, so you don't have no black people over there? Okay, let me get you one. And let that person learn and hold the door while we train up 10 more, and I'm gonna
Right.
send you 10 more. Right?
Are you
I'm
on
one
your
of the
channel or
people.
you in the Slack? Where you at? Where you at?
We do it in our we got a link that's posted in our Slack. I don't have it posted on my channel
All right.
because because people fall off, right? People like, well, it's gonna take me too long to get to that
Man, you sounding like
300,000. I'm
kids.
like,
Why you sound like kids with the roots?
that's how they be sounding to me. It's gonna take us too long.
Salute, Mr. Also. You sound like
You know what, Sam, is that Princessa was trying to get me into blockchain development. I was sitting here like I don't even follow blockchain. I don't even really know much about it at all. And I was just like, she's like, you cannot miss this opportunity. And then for you to bring this up and I see like up to $1 million dollars, I was like, man.
Do you know Oracle?
Nope.
Yep.
Databases?
Oh yeah, I do know. Yeah, I do know Oracle. Yeah.
So go to Oracle website and look at Oracle blockchain and the databases. You know that some of that stuff is free. They was giving that stuff away for free. Especially with Oracle really heavily focused on the supply chain. Man, that's money.
I'm even looking here on Free Code Camp. They have Rust programming course for beginners, and they have like a Solidity blockchain and smart contract course.
Yep.
It's like that. The second one is like 16 hours, but I'm sure you could pick through it or just do the whole 16 hours.
Just do the whole 16 hours.
Like 16 hours, a long time.
But this why I say I want to start like a group, like a book group and a rush group, which we started the rush group. But hey, every week we're committed to learning this and bring in speakers who are already in the field to do it. Like, yo, it's no reason why we not making this money. Like, it don't make sense to me. So I'm like, I want to make all the money I can. That I don't, people were like, you're greedy or whatnot. Call me greedy, whatever.
Right.
Just don't call me broke. So when it comes down to it, if I can get my foot in the door, I can look back and say, okay, this is what I did. Here's how I did it. Yo, here's a blueprint. You may have to, substitute some things in there, but this is a template to follow. And then let's keep pushing. Like, let's keep getting people into it.
Yeah, I just posted something. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Professor.
No, real quick. Creelot, Keep It Techie put the links in for TAM. So the TAM links was put in by Keep It Techie. Go ahead, Keep It Techie.
Yeah, and I was just gonna say I just dropped something as well. And this is basically what TAM was talking about. Oracle giving away free certifications. I posted this like last month or whatever.
Damn,
and I think it's about to expire on the 28th of this month. But this is a free Oracle Cloud Infrastructure certification. And when I say free, schedule for the free exam today. You know what I'm saying? That's free information. I mean, free certs out there you can actually take to help you get into this stuff. So just throwing that out there.
This how I look at it. Instead of taking a week off to go on vacation, take a week off to study.
Yeah.
Like, get on your P's and Q's. Yep, get on your P's and Q's and study. Put that on your resume. Even if you don't go take the certification and you take notes and you understand the information, put it on your resume. Let people start calling you, start interviewing for those positions so you can learn what type of questions that they ask and also do your research on that. And then next thing you know, you'll be in it. You'll become a expert in it, but you won't ever know if you don't start.
I would say even to add on top of that.
Hold on real quick. Keep it techy. Put your free course in there. Go ahead, Gabe. Then I'm gonna let Tone up. Hold tight, Tone. I'm gonna let Gabe go. Then I'm gonna call you up.
I was gonna say, even to add on top of what you're saying, Tam, I think that people should even document their journey publicly, right? Whether you're putting it on LinkedIn or Medium or some type of blog site, or even creating a GitHub or a Git. Like, isn't it called like a Git
Yep. Get
Get
up.
Books or something.
Yeah,
It's another
it's
version.
called Get Book that you can
Get Book.
document. But you know what I also tell
That's
people
pretty
to do
dope.
is make a
Mhm.
mind map of your journey. And
Yeah.
then have that mind map linked to different things. So when a recruiter who's not really familiar with maybe GitHub, they can look at the mind map and say,
Facts.
well, this person has done these things, this person
Yeah.
has done these things, and here are links to them. It gives them a visual of what you have accomplished.
Yeah.
Facts.
It's called Mind Map.
Mind map. Yeah, it's super
It's called
cool.
It's
mind mapping.
it's a
Yeah.
lot of different type of software and
Oh,
applications that allow you to do mind map, and some of them are really nice. I can't think of any ones that I've used recently, but if you just
Yeah, I did
Google
a
it and just
video.
look for ones.
Yeah, I did a
Oh,
video
you
on one
did?
a while back on
Yeah.
one of the mind. It's like an open source mind mapping program that
facts.
you can host on a website somewhere
Oh,
if you
dope.
want to. So
Yeah, I
it's dope.
saw that.
Is it
What's
called Mind Meister?
that's
Yeah, I
one of
use
them.
that one too.
That's one of them. Yeah.
Here's
Yeah,
one
it's
I
plenty of them out there. That's
Yeah.
for
So
here's
sure.
Sorry,
one
y'all.
I
I got to
did.
put the phone down for a minute. I'm cooking right now.
what's
Sorry, hold on.
go ahead. But
I just
go
put a
ahead, Tim.
link to one of the ones that I did for South by Southwest when I spoke at South by Southwest. And it's old. I need to update it, but it gives you an idea on RCSA to infrastructure engineer. Like what does that look like?
Dope.
Yeah, that's cool. I
Did you use
always
the markdown to pull that into GitHub, or you just use GitHub directly?
I created this and put it into a README, and then I took a JPEG of
Yeah.
my mind map and linked it in here. And
That's
it
dope. Right? Very simple, very easy. Like anybody that's a beginner can begin to document their progress
right.
in this way. Yeah.
Mm.
I'm about to drop down. My computer about to die, and
yeah, I'm about to write as soon as
it's 1 in
Tone.
the morning. I got
Yeah, I'm about to as
I
soon as
gotta
Tone
drop
says
down.
speaker, I'm
I
going to
don't ever
bed.
stay up
Yeah,
this late. I don't
I'm
ever
barely
stay up this
making
late.
it. Thanks for
All
joining
right,
me,
y'all. Well, it
Gabe,
was
man. I
good rocking with
appreciate
y'all.
it.
Yeah. You definitely
Man,
talk to you
thanks.
all later.
Thank you
All
for
right,
dropping the
Gabe.
Yeah.
name, man.
Peace, peace.
All
All
right,
right, man.
y'all take care.
What y'all
Yeah.
talking about, man? It's 10 o'clock.
Let's
Keep it rolling. Nah, I'm on the West
Italy.
Coast, man. I'm just playing.
Boy, I'm hurting, boy.
Yeah, I
Like I said,
know.
it was so. I'm dozing off, man. I'm about done. Like I said, I'm letting my man Tone
That's
do
why
his.
you got to stand up and start walking around when you do your
Nah,
lives,
Tam, I'm
man.
not now, man. So I ain't got no help. You be having D with your back, man. I'm just me, man. I'm
D
just me.
jumped in the chat earlier, but
I saw, I saw her. I saw her.
hmm she
She
was
come
in the
in with the
chat.
full women's Linux. Shout out to her. She came in with the full women's Linux. But but I think this is great conversation. Like you said, this is next level stuff, and talking about scholars and really like we talked about getting a bag. Once again, this is a killer panel. Everybody came through. Shout out to Citizen Lou. I think he went to bed. Yeah, you gonna be on in a minute, Tam. You come on at what 11? You gonna be back up?
I think D moved it to 12 because we
Okay.
Mountain Standard Time now.
Okay,
Well,
y'all
I'm
moved
Mountain
around.
Standard Time now.
Yeah, facts. So shit, I'm like I said, I'm way over time. Ain't no way. I thought I was gonna ramble a little bit about me talking about scholars for a minute, and I was gonna go back to bed. But shout out to everybody who came up, and I really appreciate it. Like I said, let my man come back. You better hurry up because my old ass is dozing off. Shout out your times tomorrow, Tam, that you gonna be on.
So tomorrow we will be on, I think at 12 or 12:30 and then 2:30 most definitely. And tomorrow at 2:30 we actually got a guest that's coming on. He is an agile coach and he's going to talk about the conferences. We're going to talk about what is agile. We're going to talk about coaching. We're going to talk about agile coaching. What does all that mean? What does that mean in the organization? What's the difference between that and a scrum master? So we're gonna get into all of that tomorrow because it's just another way to get into tech. But I just want people to have an idea of what they could look like for themselves if they don't want to code or if they don't want to do infrastructure or whatever else.
I work with one. I hate his guts. I want to poke his throat, but security and them sometimes go back and forth. I'm gonna give you the last word on that, Tim. Then I'm gonna shut it down. So I'm gonna hopefully my man Tom gonna be back. I'm about to shut it down. Go ahead. I'm gonna give you the last word.
So I appreciate you letting me up on your stream.
Always.
I had to make sure you eat your veggies. We don't want you.
That.
We don't want you passing out on the stream, live on the stream, passing out.
I'm struggling. I'm struggling. Nah, but shout out everybody go to Women in Linux. I'm always on their channel half the time. Bothering little D, she always frowning up when I'm over there. Great channel, great. As you see, she dropping gems. She's dropping 4 times as much as on her channel. Go ahead and.
Yeah. So we dropping gems tomorrow. We're gonna talk about some family office, some tech, some stocks, some different ways to invest, some different platforms that you can use in case you don't want to go out and buy real estate. Maybe you just want to invest into someone who's building a house, and you could probably put $100 into that particular investment. So it's just different things that you could do with your money. You're not always beholden to, like they say, get it out the mud. So shout out to Women in Linux and catch us tomorrow.
Drop your channel in there. Royston, I guess haven't been yet. Did you drop your channel in there?
I'll put it in.
Yeah, drop it in. I made you a mod, so you can make that happen, Tim.
Got you.
All right, thanks. I'll be on yours tomorrow.
Got you.
I'll talk to you. Go ahead, keep it techie. Wrap it on up, man. You drop that Linux knowledge with your free course in there. Go on, drop it on in there.
Oh yeah, appreciate it, man. Salute for you doing this stream. It's a lot of great information that come out in a lot of these streams that, a lot of gems and stuff that, people need to pick up on. And that's why I'm always trying to help out as much as I can when I ain't doing that. So I definitely appreciate you doing this. And if you're trying to learn Linux, you know what I'm saying, I do got a little Linux course I put together. It ain't the best, you know what I'm saying, but it's something for y'all to.
Don't be listening to Keep It Tech. I've been looking at that. That's a good course, and I've been doing Linux for 30 years. Y'all better get that Linux knowledge, because Tam gonna be quizzing y'all on it. So you better go to Keep It Tech. You better get that Linux. Go ahead.
Yeah, appreciate it.
You good, man. But don't shortchange yourself. That's a good Linux class. I picked up a few gems. Hell, I've been doing it off and on for 30 now. Though. That's a good. Good. And you gave me some hours, man. It wasn't no Dicky class. You giving them some hours of good stuff, man. Then they could go and use that Linux to get some of that TAM 1 million or whatever the hell she talking about 750. I'm behind, so you need that Linux to get over there. So that's perfect, man. That's perfect.
Yeah, and it's crazy because I didn't expect it, but like I think I told you, I think free code camp picking it up.
Yeah, that's
cool.
It's good. So that's good.
I did not expect that, and I wasn't. Looking for that. I'm just trying to put the information. That's why I put it up there for free. I was going back and forth in my head on, if I should charge for it, but nah. I mean, I'm here to help people, so that's why I just went on and threw it out there for free. But later on, future courses, I may put a paywall behind it.
No, you should. You gave him a lot for free. They should put a little bit in your pocket, man. That's why they picked them up, man. That's all good karma coming back to you, man. You definitely deserve it, man. Everybody come check it out to Keep It Tech. He went over that 10K limit. He's my role model. I'm trying to get there one day. So shout out to Keep It Tech.
Yeah, appreciate it. Y'all have a good night.
You too, man. I gotta get some sleep. B2B, I'm gonna let you kick it off, man. What's your last party words, B2B? Go check his channel out. He's one of the young guns coming in there because PBO ain't got much longer, man. I'm gonna ease out this game, so I'm passing the baton to B2B, man. Go ahead, B2B.
Yeah, First Black House, I always want to say thank you so much for having me up on your panel. First time I'm up on your panel for
facts,
like, man. But I really do appreciate you for having me up here. I was supposed to be fooling some time.
Man, I was gonna clip it. I just left it alone. I clipped it and I talked about it more than just I didn't play it. I just talked about
it. Okay. Well, perfect. So thank you again, and I will see you next time.
I'm sure I'll be on your channel quick. I'm gonna have to cut Tone off, man. He took too long with the cooking. But I want to thank everybody, especially the super chats and just people coming. Everybody give great gems and shout out to Tim. We all about her, making it happen. So stay out on these UC streets. Check everybody out. I'm doing a class on Sunday at 3 talking about AWS, VPNs, and global WANs going through AWS. So everybody have a good night. And I'm sure I'm going to see everybody on these YouTube streets. I'm going to have to catch Tone later. I'll talk to you, everybody. Talk to you later. Thanks for joining me.